Teen black guy. How do I find this shit again? Okay, I'm gonna have to find a video that I saw on. Hello, 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 and welcome to another EU Playday in Pro Hubs. We have Pro League. It's all of these things. Rio, you're looking mighty fine today. Is that a haircut, or am
Thank
I
you.
just?
No, I
Uh,
normally wear my hat, but I've got my new Isolt shirt, and it
that's
just
what it
didn't.
is.
It didn't work with the hat, so this is the hair reveal, as okay as it is.
Nice. I'd love to see your cat walking around in the background as well.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyway, let's stop whittering on. We have a lot of games to get through today. As per usual, three groups of four teams each. So that's about 3 hours worth of the finals. Lots and lots of games ahead of us.
Yeah.
And by the end of today, we'll be exactly halfway through our regular season, and we'll be ready
Wow.
for the mid split break. So, Rio, lots to digest today. The table's starting to kind of shape up, and we can
Yeah.
start to make some predictions about how things will pan out before the playoffs at the end of the season.
Yeah, no, I agree. We are coming up on the halfway point, and it is definitely starting to shake out kind of what teams are a little more up there and which teams might be struggling a little bit. But with it only being halfway, it doesn't mean that anything is set in stone. We could have a team on the very bottom just absolutely destroy the second half of it and get back up there. So, with that said, let's take a look at Group A. Group A will be composed of the Burnt Nuggets, the Crutches, NTHX, and Saints 1. So, these are some really good teams. And if we actually take a look at the bracket, Saints 1 is on top. What do you think about that, Jerry?
Yeah, they've been a very strong side so far, and they haven't been actually the most consistent team. I would say that moniker goes to Aimers Blue, but
Okay.
yeah, Saints One do have the odd loss in them, but most of the time they pull out and they come out on top. So
Mm.
yeah, they're a very impressive side. We then have Burnt Nuggets and Crutches occupying that fifth and sixth position, both very strong sides, and NTHX languishing down in 10th. So this is going to be a relatively tough day for that French squad.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely gonna be a tough day for them. I like how the bracket basically has somebody in every position. There's
Mm.
somebody on top, there's some people in the middle, and then there's somebody all the way at the bottom. I think that this is going to be maybe the most I hesitate to say balanced because I'm afraid I'm going to say that it's going to be the absolute opposite of that. But it might be the most balanced. We might see kind of the exact same spread, kind of as we're seeing there. But with all that said, we are going to get started. It looks like the map has loaded in. We have the Burnt Nuggets in THX, the Crutches and Saints 1. The colors are on the screen. If you have a favorite team, root along, follow them as we get started on Burnow.
Absolutely. So, but now will be the first map of every group today. Just one other point of order. It seems as though actually we have a couple of subs. I do have on my list. I'm expecting Rainkey to be on the subs list here for
Mm.
NTHX, standing in place of Nolly. But there is an unfamiliar name on the side of Crutches here as well. But we'll keep an eye on Crutches as they're in their element right now. They are jumping on in on top of NTHX, and we see them backing on up. Wurzel taking a bit of damage, though. The heavy, possibly the sub, as I mentioned, coming in. That res comes through successfully from Pepe onto Remke. So now a little bit of a tough one for Crutches to recover here in a deficit. 2 versus 2 at least. The hook comes out. It will connect, but he doesn't go around the corner. Doesn't matter, though. The finish is there as Remke lands down on him with that sledgehammer. We see some shots coming out from Yoip to try and take down that last player. Can't quite find him. He's almost got him. Great DMAT lands him straight on top of him. But now he has to deal with the heat that has landed on him as well. It's really tight back and forth here. Bronx getting a couple of kills with that. SH, though, really great. And that's the cleanup there. Taking out the rest of NTHX. We're going to hop on over to the other side of things now.
Yeah, that was amazing. And basically, the action just got started right away and pretty much nonstop. I don't even think Jerry had a second to take a breath there. So that's the kind of matches to expect today. But we switch over to Norton's view as he has that ARN, and he was getting some good shots on Mickey as he now finds someone as well. Gets a trade on him and sadly goes down in the fight. Looks like Mickey got rezzed by his teammate, and it looks like he has somebody else in his crosshairs as well, as brings down Nagiri and now is dematting running through the wall, picks up the vault, and it looks like they're going to bring it to cash out A. But in his way, we have Palma, and he is getting just some great shots off on them. Palma just standing still, it looked like. I'm not sure what happened there, but they are going to get cash out A started pretty much immediately as soon as they get that fumbled vault.
Yeah, some questionable decision making there from Palmer. Maybe had another player in his sights and wanted to be beaming down on them, but it has cost him his life. We are having some audio difficulty on our end, but I think everyone on the stream should be hearing it just fine. So apologies if we've missed a couple of bits and pieces, but ideally we'll be missing slightly less now because, as you may have noticed, we have a kill feed in the top right. Hooray, Rio! It's a caster buff.
We have a kill feed. I can't believe it. It's actually here, and you know what? It actually makes viewing just what's happening that much easier. I think that this has been something that we have sorely needed, and I've talked to a few people, and it provides a lot of benefit from us as casters, but honestly, the benefit is for the viewers the most, so I'm happy to see it. I'm sure that everybody else is. We've kind of slowed things down in the fight. It looks like there's a setup right now from the Burnt Nuggets. They are on top of this cash out. They're trying to find NTHX, get into their weak point any way that they can. One person from NTHX is very low, but Burnt Nuggets loses a teammate as well. They are diving into the room. They're trying to find any opening that they can. Cash out has maybe just a fourth left. We're talking 20 seconds. They need to dive on and get something happening. They are trying to steal right now, but it is not looking good because it looks like one of their teammates is going down in that fight. Cash out just taking down even more. They have maybe 10 seconds left to get on this, but it doesn't look like anybody's brave enough. Gas goes off as well. Burnt Nuggets are trying to steal. There's the body block. Are they able to hold it? There's the dome shield as well. Oh no, the yoink pulls him out of the way and then gets boinked as well. That is a good cleanup as their last person tries to run away, and there is a wipe. Sad to see for the Burnt Nuggets.
Huge for NTHX, and what a way to make your mark as a substitute. Rainkill with the patience of a saint there, playing outside. We got a little peek of him with his sledgehammer, just waiting, biding his time, knowing that the timer was on their side, and he picked his moment perfectly. Not only that, but rewarded with the team wipe afterwards as well. So NTHX making strides forward at the bottom placed team, or the bottom seeded team in this lobby. They currently sit atop the cash standings.
Yeah, it's wild to see, but that's what you have happen in between these play days. These teams hopefully go back and they play and they analyze what went wrong, what went right, and they can make little, changes. This is something that we've never seen in the finals yet. We've never had a league like this where teams consistently play against each other at kind of a top tier. So this is why, I don't know, I'm excited. If you've already can tell, like the first few minutes of this map have already been wild, and 2 cash outs and just kind of changing everything up. So I'm really rooting for NTHX. Maybe they can come back. Maybe they can kind of stay on top. I'm not sure, but there's a lot of promise here from what I've seen.
Yep, so I'm just getting word from chat, thank you very much, that Wurzal is best rig. So that is not a sub, but I do believe that they had a sub in his place as well previously. So that's why it's confusing. I've seen 3 different names over the course of this time. Norton gets in and into the thick of it, takes down one player, Emilian, but someone finds the refrag. Mickey takes out Palmer, and it seems as though it's in a 2 versus 2 here. Someone finding that spot behind to take down another. Norton eliminated for the 2nd time in a row here, and now he's chasing down for the 1 versus 1. Doesn't expect him already far away, but he has the opportunity to get this res. So the pace will slow a little bit. Nagiri maybe trying to find a place where he can res a totem there. He's hiding out behind that barricade. There we go. Yep, does get the res. So now 2 versus 2. And we see maybe the opportunity to go for a 3rd. Yep, they have all 3 up, but Emilian goes straight down. The heavy melted there by Palmer, his opposite number. Now Mickey now having to do the dirty work, but he dives out with only a smidgen of HP. Nagiri does pin him down. Now it's all up to someone in a 1 versus 2, and he's taken out. He does take down 1 on his way, but ultimately that is a victory for Saints 1. They find, but Nuggets, they find the wipe onto Saints 1.
Yep, those nuggets were served fresh and tasty. You could tell that they wanted to come back. Maybe they were a little hurt after losing that cash out, and rightfully so. When we see them immediately pivot, they get their team back up. They are going for a push right on top to the crutches. They see the C4. They decide to blow it up, drop the cash out with their team following in chase. They throwing some goo down as well. They spot a gateway out. I'm not sure if that was placed by them or the enemy team, but it's not going to matter. matter because they throw an APS turret down, but the cash out gets bounced right away by the Crutches. They had that perfectly set up. They're going for a res. He does get Palma back up in that fight, but loses himself in it. One person left on the Burnt Nuggets, and they hate to see it, but they are not looking good in this fight. Another steal is going off, trying to stay alive as the last person from the Burnt Nuggets goes down. In this cash out will sadly go the way of the Crutches again. What's happened with the Burnt Nuggets?
Well, Burnt Nuggets, I'm amazed that they managed to get the steal off in the first place with it bouncing, but the reason they were able to do it is that they were stealing from on top of the cash out. Something you weren't actually able to do until fairly recently, I think a few patches ago, or maybe the start of this season. So, yeah, despite the fact that it was bouncing about and changing floors and being dematted and all this stuff, he was able to stick through it, but losing the fight overall is what cost them. Here comes a DMAT to bring down NCHX's cash, and it's going to bounce a few times here. Saints 1 would look to try and close it up, but they don't have their medium anywhere nearby. Drops yet another level, a dome out on top of it, and Raimke once again has played this very nicely to keep himself alive and in contention. They're playing around those close doorways, this tight-knit area, to try and get those kills with the sledgehammer. Don't even need them in the end. NTHX playing the objective really nicely here. We see Emilian chasing down Ploppy, and that is the wipe on NTHX. But once again, it doesn't matter because NTHX have gotten their second cash out in a row.
Wow, that was wild to see. Everybody diving in there, and then that movement as well as like diving in and out of the doors, just closing them, blocking people off. It's really great to see just how long you can stay alive when you have kind of good placement, good movement, and just, you know, good thoughts as well. So that was just fun to see and kind of shows why these people are at the top. And he just decides to send that vault packing and throws it halfway across the map, kind of just trying to buy himself more time as he knew that he was going to get wiped and his team went down. But that's going to also run out the clock.
Yeah, they're playing for the second place. They know that they don't want to risk anything longer. Here, NCHX go trying to run this anywhere. Doesn't really matter. Someone gets a kill. Doesn't mean anything. Saints 1 only have to settle with third place there. And NCHX, I wouldn't have bet on them, but they've come out on top. Raimke, what a super sub.
Yeah, no kidding. And now what's going to be interesting is to see if NTHX can keep it up. It seems that they've found their tempo in this first map, but if they're able to kind of retain it, I'm not sure, but we have 3 more maps coming up. But I'm impressed as well. I think that that's a really good turnaround and really hopeful if there are any NTHX fans in the chat.
Wow, someone. I was tuned into his Twitch stream just before this game, and he was warming up on Deathmatch. You can really tell he's warming up on Deathmatch, because look at that, 13-3. It hasn't brought his team top 2 finish, though. So goes to show that it's not all about kills, as we know.
Yeah, it really is. They do get some extra points just for those kills, but overall, in the just kind of way that cash out works, it didn't get them the victory. They had to kind of go for that cash, and it just didn't work out in their favor. And then kind of looking at the bottom of the scoreboard, we have the Burnt Nuggets that just didn't get a single cash out. Were they just robbed? Did something happen? I don't know. What did you see?
I didn't see anything. I was starting to kind of warm into it, get used to things. I've just realized that my face may be slightly behind my audio. So enjoy that while it lasts. I will fix that in a moment when I'm done. But yeah, it was an interesting game. I wouldn't bet on it staying this exact way throughout the whole day. I think all of these teams are capable of getting the wins. Yeah, and weirdly, in terms of podium, in terms of the order of finishing here, it's completely opposite to what we would have expected based on the standings going into today. We have NTHX, then Crutches, then Saints, and then Burnt Nuggets, and it's almost exactly flipped to that in the standings.
Yeah, that is a wild observation, and I am just curious to see if they can maintain it. If this is just going to change up, I kind of expect that you might be right, that we're just going to see a complete shuffle of the team's next map as we load into Fortune Stadium. Ooh, gotta love the quick transition. I like not having to yap too long and just getting into finals combat, because that's really what everybody wants to see. I think the Burnt Nuggets, if I were going to do anything, if I were them, I would basically just work on my defense. It seems like they just ran out of luck a couple of times. Quite like the Burnt Nuggets. I think it's a really fun team name. So, you know, hoping that they can pull something out here.
Yeah, that is the one thing that well, it's not the one thing they have going for them, but it's definitely one of the things they have going for them. Immediately, they endeared themselves to me with that choice of name. And the logo. Great logo as well. Love that logo. Okay, here we go. Let's settle into Fortune Stadium. Rio, I'm going to ban you from saying how much you love this because you always do. We have the matter being brought out by someone here, and he's going invis, so
Oh,
looking to get up real close. We don't see the matter very much in Pro Hubs at all. Does land the
never.
first shot, but not able to connect with the second. Just a little bit too far away there. Setting up the gateway. The rest of his team playing very standoffish in this building.
Yeah, and this is really interesting play from someone because he is really far away from what he's trying to do right now. He might just be trying to get in close, but this is a really weird weapon, and I want to stay on them. He gets one. He's trying to find the second, but sadly can't get it. He does go down in that fight, but he brought their heavy down to just a couple of bars left. It looks like they're going to be able to take it, and the Burnt Nuggets might get this cash out started, but maybe I spoke too soon because it looks like one of them got hit and goes down, and it looks like the Crutches were able to swoop in there and take it.
Yeah, Crutches with a very deliberate choice to come and third party this first vault. An interesting one. NTHX are getting away with just going to their far side. They are very happy on Fortune Stadium. We've seen them do this before, play the map and the objective very nicely. But they are being gifted this here. Nagiri finds that kill, or rather Bronx finds the kill onto Nagiri. He's the last alive on Crutches as it stands. And he still has to deal with the entire rest of Burnt Nuggets, both of them. They're split right now. Crutches are spawning back in, so they do have the opportunity to keep their cash out quite close. The steal is there, but it's baited, and they have to fall off of it. Nagiri not quite making his mark. Yoip finds Palmer, and now it's a 2 versus 3 here with Burnt Nuggets under the kosh. Crutches falling back behind the safety of the goo. They are on the defensive here. They allow that res to go through. Norton finds Bronx, interestingly, and now further they move forward and they're getting the kills. He can't, how is he not getting the final shot on Nagiri? This guy, his days were numbered. Oh, and a great follow-up there from Nagiri, taking out Wurzal, and that is a team wipe and plenty of time left to steal.
Yeah, there we go. Burnt Nuggets seem to finally find their footing. That was really exciting and a little frustrating as he was chasing that kill and just being a little bit away. Oh, and we switch over to Ramkey as he just deletes someone with that bamboo stick. It is quite heavy to see. Is it a bamboo? Yeah, that is. He is running the bamboo skin. And yeah, they are set up now. They're in full control. NTHX have maybe 15 seconds left on this cash out. Crutches are coming in. They demat through the wall. They're right on top of each other. They push in. They don't even know it. He gets in right behind them. Ploppy goes down. Yoip is getting some great damage. There's a few seconds left. He demats into the floor. Sadly, that gas gets him, and it's going to stop them. But NTHX gets wiped, and the cash out. Wild to see.
The gas grenade, interestingly, from Pepe, much underutilized. Not a mine, not a barrel, but the grenade. Very, very rare to see that. Now, Norton taking some long-range shots with that ARN. Doesn't quite find it, but the assist is there as Emilian cleans up. Nagiri with 2 there. Mickey taken out as well. Nagiri is doing absolute bits with this Cerberus. You know what? I have recently started trying out the Cerberus. I'm a very anti-meta kind of guy, and for ages, never really gave the Cerberus a try. It is a meaty gun in the right hands. And I tell you this because mine are the wrong hands. So if I can do work with it, then God knows what Nagiri can.
Oh, that's wild to say. You know, and honestly, I'm in that same opinion. It reminds me a lot of the shotgun in Doom. I feel like I have to be right in their faces to kind of do a lot of damage. So they've done that really well. Camera a little askewed. I'm wondering why. That's wild to see. A little bit of filmmaking happening in the finals, but this fight is happening and the Burnt Nuggets get chased, but Palma is there to just rain bullets down on them. Throws up the barricade, reloads his RPG, ready for this fight. The Saints one have just brought it in. I'm sorry, the Crutches have just brought the fight to them. He gets 1 kill, but it doesn't look good for Nagiri. I don't know where the rest of his team was, but sadly, he was unable to hold his ground.
Yeah, it seemed like he'd just been res there and the Heavy couldn't hold his own. A good 2 versus 2 taken by Saints 1, and they really need that to get some kind of footing in this game. Or rather, not Saints 1, but Crutches. Random long-range shot taken by Mickey there to find Pepe. And now they will gain control over vault number 4. It's pretty even standings right now, besides the fact that Mickey and the rest of Saints 1 are quite far behind. They will have a real bit between their teeth here to try and get this over to C. Looks as though... Interesting. They decided to throw that, abandon it completely, and head for D. I don't think they even knew that there was someone waiting by C. So they're foregoing that box completely. It is now being moved by process of elimination, NCHX. That is very strange. Why would
Yeah,
they do that?
I think they thought everybody was here at D, so they wanted to third
Yeah.
team it and then go back and get the cash out. And I think they just threw it in the hands of NTHX. NTHX was like, I will happily take this gift from you guys, and they got it started and are just sipping
Oh,
mojitos
no.
over there as we watch the Burnt Nuggets fight for their life. This cash out has just a few seconds left, 15 at most. We pop over to Nigiri. He is using that Cerberus. Good shots are popping off left and right. He tries to throw down some goo. Red barrel in hand, chasing that heavy, getting one. Can he follow it up? I'm not sure, but the time is running out and they really need to stick it. The heavy is trying to get on it, but everybody is diving. I think that they got the kill and they're going to get the steal. Burnt Nuggets have turned this around. I love to see this.
Nigiri's turned it around. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Oh my god. This guy is on fire right now. And Saints won. They're on fire, but in a completely different way. They are panicking. They need to stop, drop, and roll, Rio. That was a bizarre choice to forego the box. Maybe they're thinking too big. Maybe they're thinking about, the league standings and who they need to be fighting. They're not too concerned with NTHX, perhaps, because they're further down the table. But you've got to give yourself something to fight for. In this game, they now sit with 2.5 minutes left, and they need to put it out of the bag here.
Oh.
They're losing their fights. Nigiri and Palmer just sitting them down. Palmer known for, squashing his enemies into the dirt at times, being a bit of the bad guy, and he's not letting up right now.
No kidding. We move over to Pepe as they have lost control of the cash out. No, I'm sorry. It looks like they have control of it. No, the colors are a little bit weird.
Crutches took it, they're taking it back, yeah.
Colors are
Crutches-
hard, everybody.
Yeah, it's a bit of a mania in there, though. Crutches still have control of it. The steal is attempted, whereas now takes out Floppy, though, and it looks as though Crutches have done just enough to keep hold of this, despite the wipe that has come their way at the hands of NCHX. That does move NCHX now down into last position, or third position, rather, as Burnt Nuggets have already gotten started on what will likely be the final cash out with the timer remaining, unless someone wants to make a go at that final vault.
Yeah, I don't think that's the play here. I think the play is just get everybody on cash out A. We see them drop the bounce pad, getting it ready, and oh my god, look at the scoreboard. Nigiri with 14 kills. We just have to stop that. Look at the combat damage. The man is insane. Don't know what he did today. Lots of Ospus, obviously, and that service is helping him quite a lot, but that ends his massacre spree going on. But they're probably going to get him back up. NTHX drops the cash out. It does hit that bounce pad, forcing them to break it. It is about halfway done. Put an APS around it. Go in the corner. They're trying to stick the steal, but everybody is here. They are just diving on top of this cash out. They have to abandon for right now as everybody tries to find their footing.
Burnt Nuggets holding on with the defense. Palmer has the cover he needs. I want to keep a look at Palmer and Nigiri and see how they do. Palmer taken out. Nigiri finds that refrag onto Rainke, and it looks as though NCHX are suffering right now in the kills department. All of Saints 1 currently standing and in a decent position to try and get this steal. Nigiri and Norton go down. Huge kills on the owners of the point. In fact, that is a wipe, and now it's only pink and purple left in the server. Crutches going for that last second steal here. Not long left. Only about 16 seconds total. And they've got it. That is the wipe coming out from Bronx. The steal comes through from Crutches, and they claim the chaos as their own, and they take fortune.
Yeah, that was wild, and a server wipe to boot. Honestly, everybody in there was dead, and they were able to get the steal. This was a wild match, and you were right, Jerry. Everything just kind of got jumbled up. The teams that I didn't expect to do as well did really well, and just wild. Especially those kill counts on somebody like Nagiri. I don't know. Maybe fortune is the map to avoid if you're going to be going against a player like that.
Well, I don't know whether the map would even matter, to be honest. Like, he's bringing the Cerberus, he's doing work on Banal, he's doing work on Fortune. Like, these are maps that aren't necessarily tight-knit, but they aren't long-range either all the time, you think about long-range maps, you think about, like, Sis Horizon, you think about Vegas, perhaps. If we head to, say, Monaco or, I don't know, Skyway, that could be an absolutely devastating ground for him. Saints 1, Saints none, says chat, and they are right. This is not looking good for them. A third place finish on Burnout, now fourth place finish here on Fortune. Some real missteps in that game we saw.
Yeah, Saints won. Sadly, divine intervention couldn't save them in that battle, but there are two more maps coming up, so who knows? Maybe they'll be able to turn something around. Not really sure what's going on there, but I do want to kind of bring back the Burnt Nuggets because they went from bottom to second, which is still really good. Just a good change up. Was it just them getting more lucky? Because I do think in the last map they just kind of got unlucky, so maybe their fortune changed.
Maybe. It's anything. I mean, fortune changing is a good way of putting it. Certain. I don't know where we're going next though. This is always fun here in Pro Hubs. We always get kind of just a little word in our ear, and it's going to be Monaco that Crutches, or rather Burnt Nuggets, have. Sorry, Crutches have picked. Yeah, and that does play into Nigiri's hands on the side of Burnt Nuggets. So I'm interested to see how that works with Crutches. Obviously, they've done well here. They are, at the moment, the highest scoring team so far in this group. So we definitely have to keep an eye on them. Saints 1, yeah, coming into the day as the first seed. Still haven't come in the top 2. They really need to turn it around. We've got Palmer switching on to the Sledgehammer now.
Does that mean we have 2 sledges in the map? This is going to be...
We may have more. Everyone likes a sledge on Monaco.
What's happening, Jerry? We went from seeing no sledges to one every once in a while to now it seems like everybody just wants to keep it in their back pocket. Is it more of a Monaco thing? Is it just kind of... Are people changing, Jerry? What's happening?
Well, we've only got one mesh shield heavy in the lobby. All of those winches, there's a possibility that they've brought that sledgehammer. We'll keep an eye on our heavies across the board. Whereas Al, the only mesh heavy, as we can see, on the side of Crutches. So expect them to be trying to play this in range. He has adapted slightly, though. You've got the Shack, which is decent kind of mid-range. Really falls off after a big distance. But he's gone straight on in, and that has cost him... Look at the kills raining in for Saints 1 right now. There's not quite a wipe there. Yoip finding one on his way down. He finds a second infect with the quick melee, but someone is there to clean it up. Saints 1 taking that first team fight. We should hop on over to the other side of the map now, maybe.
Yeah, glad to see Saints 1 have...
Oh, never mind. Burnt Nuggets
going.
are here. Burnt Nuggets are third partying. Okay.
Everybody wants vault number 1. It seems to be a hot commodity in this map. The Burnt Nuggets are on top. They have tapped it, but I'm not sure what I'm seeing. It looked like the Crutches might have decided to leave. Like everybody decided, nope, this is way too hot for me, because I thought we were about to see a big clash of lots of teams, but it doesn't seem that way. We do pop over to the Burnt Nuggets as it looks like one of their teammates goes down. Mickey, with that lightning aim, just was able to spot one of them out from across the map. The FAMAS is super deadly in his hands. Looks like the Burnt Nuggets have been able to get Cash Out A started. They spot Mickey out, and they are able to bring him down. Can they hold it as the rest of their team gets set up? And it looks like Saints 1 make their approach.
Yeah, they're getting close here. I have a theory about the kind of third partying we're seeing, and it is a pattern. NTHX are being avoided, and I think it's because they are lowest in the table. We actually see a team wipe come through on the kill feed there as Crutches have wiped out NTHX. But they're not tackling anything nearby. They are tackling their vault. Emilian is the last alive here. Unfortunately, his game of hiding hasn't worked. The hide and seek, he's the loser. And Burnt Nuggets rather, have defended their Cash Out A quite admirably there. And now we get to watch as Crutches move their vault probably over to B. Saints 1 sending Mickey over there to try and contest it. Some interesting movements across the map here.
Yeah, and Monaco is like the king of movement. Those rooftops just make it wonderful to get around, and just lots of sight lines like we're seeing right now. Mickey is trying to buy time. His teammate can coin in, but it even looked like that was their last coin. 6 minutes left in this map, and they have used them all. Wild to see, but maybe they have some grand strategy. Mickey overhead, kind of in a nice gargoyle formation, looking to spot anybody that he can. He decides to push in. He demats the roof, but his team is really spread out. This is not what you want. They do make the move, but we're going to go over to the other Cash Out because it looks like everybody is here. Nigiri taking a lot of damage. Burnt Nuggets trying to survive with their last person, Palma, just getting grouped up and dies. very quickly, and they're trying to go for the steal, but they can't make anything happen. NTHX is there as well. One person left on NTHX, it looks like, and they are getting chased. The Crutches have found them all. They're going for the steal. Nobody's able to stop this, and the Crutches have stolen it. They find the last person, and he's gonna go down as well. NTHX gets the wipe, and really not able to find what they're looking for today in this map.
Some bizarre movements across the map there from lots of teams switching focus in terms of the cash outs constantly. That A cash out has now been confirmed, and B is only halfway done as we see Burnt Nuggets trying to take on Saints 1. Cash out has been moved out into the open, which may benefit Saints 1 here, as Palmer won't be able to leverage that sledgehammer quite as much. Detonates the gas canister earlier so that it can not be too much of a problem for him. Brings it in close, but there's a second gas grenade from above, and that is huge play from Saints 1, forcing them back off the point and wasting some of Burnt Nuggets' utility there. Someone finds that opening frag onto Norton. The light dealt with. Nigiri now left alone, but is managing to flee with that totem and gets them back up for a 3 versus 3, Rio.
Yeah, and this is a really slow down to the fight, but the cash out has just a little bit left. We see them in the corner trying to winch claw into the wall a little bit more, but the Burnt Nuggets have to pull off. I think that they're down to their last person as well. No, there's 2 people up. It is Norton and Nigiri, but they are hiding, and the Crutches are here as well, but it's not going to matter because the Saints 1 are going to get this cash, and it looks like they're going to take second place so far, but everybody is on top of them. Saints 1 taking 1 person down, 2, and that is it. That is the wipe, as it looks like the Crutches are on top right now. Very dominating performance.
Burnt Nuggets had that kill, that wipe under their belt now, but now they have to deal with the remaining players on crutches. Norton being taken out there, Palmer going out off screen to the C4 as well, and Nigiri finds the refrag at the very end of it to get the wipe on crutches. Huge step-up play there in the 1 versus 1. Cash out D is already in motion, quite literally, as NTHX fling that out of Grandma's house and into the open. We have Vault 4 about to be tapped by Burnt Nuggets for a little bit of money. So interestingly, both the bottom place teams right now in control of the objectives, but that won't stay the same for very long as Saints 1 are surging in to try and contest Vault 4. Or are they going straight for D?
I would go straight for D. The vault still has time before it completely pops open, and I think that's what they're going to do. We see someone in Viz. They haven't made the full call yet. They haven't committed just yet. They are looking for any opening, anybody on NTHX that they can find. Thermal bore goes off. I think it hit the fence and not really what he wanted, unless he was trying to break that fence. Gas grenade goes off on the point. They try and winch claw it out. Nice. They do get it over the edge, and they are going to go for a steal. This is a great barricade play as well. They're unable to hold it as more gas goes off on the point, but there is that thermal bore coming in handy because it can just get rid of that gas. That's exactly what we saw. They're going to try the steal again. Dome shield goes down. It's forcing NTHX to push onto the point. They throw a glitch grenade down to break the dome shield, but it's not enough. They do get the steal, and there goes one of their heavy players, and they're unable to hold it. Can they buy themselves a little bit more time as the Burnt Nuggets pull in here as well? They're going to use the exact same position and try and hold it. The barricades are great for this. Palma blocking the damage. They get the steal. This cash out is trading hands left and right, Jerry.
It seems impossible to defend. There's no good place to defend it from besides right on top of it, and now NTHX are going back in to do exactly what's happened to them twice, but everyone else has learned from their mistakes. They are diving the point to defend it. Burnt Nuggets hold on to it for the time being. In come the rest of Saints 1 now. Everyone wants a piece of the action here. Now the steal is being attempted as it's winched further away by Saints 1. Emilian facing the wrong way, but the kills come through as they wipe both Burnt Nuggets and NTHX and get the steal last second. Saints 1 showing their class when it matters most.
I love fights like that. Just the utter chaos and just people trying to get onto the cash out and then continuing the fight afterwards. Love to see it. These teams are out for blood and it shows. This is only map number 3, so there's more that they have coming to them. But, oh, what is this? Someone with the invis is able to sneak up on them, but he decides to pull off and go for the Burnt Nuggets. Maybe they're a little bit of an easier target. Doesn't matter because they pulled off and are going to go and maybe get set up towards Vault 5.
Regular service is resuming now. We have Saints 1 in the lead. and NTHX last, and all the pieces correctly falling based on the standings at the start of the day where they should be right now. But Crutches about to secure cash out D, I believe, or C, whichever it is. Off in the distance, that is C. Without any contention, will put them in first place for this final wave. I say wave, we really only have time for one vault to get in, or the other one might be doubled. A bit of a melee out here in front of the cathedral, as it seems NTHX are coming out with most of the kills in their pockets, but someone took a bit of a diversion to make sure they get that plug money, a substantial amount, as it's the last wave, and they find the kills as well. Mickey finding Norton. That is a wipe onto Burnt Nuggets, and now they are dealing with NTHX, who are trailing behind them. Great shots coming out from someone as he finds Ploppy just scrambling, not quite finding his footing on top of that cathedral. But too many bodies sent his way. Wurzau will finish that one off, but he has to back away with the shack. It's not enough to take on two at once. Emilian is giving chase with the winch, and they are all but over in terms of life. Here we go. You can see the health bars depleting. Looks as though that shack is going to take a bit of a beating here at the hands of this Lewis gun in the hands of Emilian. But they have abandoned their point quite substantially to chase this team wipe, and it hasn't been confirmed.
Oh my god, they really tried to go all the way across the map to chase him down and were unable to do it. Really good movement on the Crutches side of things. They bought themselves the time that they needed, but we move over to Emilian as he throws down that gas. He bought himself exactly what we were just talking about. Bronx now with the Cerberus chasing person left and right inside the gas, throws down an invis grenade, but has to die in the process. Moving over to Ramke as he's going full bonk mode, reloads his RPG, gets a good kill on Emilian. Jerry is right. It is all down to these last 15 seconds. Who knows what's going to happen? It is in firm control of Saints 1 as NTHX make the move. They try and go for a steal. C4 is on the point. Gas has gone off as well. Time is just being wasted. Everybody taking damage from the gas. The steal goes off, but it goes down as well as Saints 1 have retained control and control of the map.
Mickey getting the credit for all three of those kills at the end there on the team attempting to steal. And yeah, Saints 1 coming out on top. That final cash out, despite only being worth 18k, was in a position where anyone could have won the game if they'd successfully stolen it. But as we often see in the finals, sometimes if you've got four teams focusing on a single objective, it's just too hot in there to get anything done. And we could just see how panicked everyone was as they approached that point. Mickey with 12 kills to his name, 3 in the final seconds, so skewing it a little bit there. But even without those 3, he was top of the lobby.
Yeah, and are we just going to have at least one person each map go to 12? Because I think that that's what we've seen so far. Just one person is just like, it's my map today. I'm going to pop off. And yeah, I love to see it. I don't know why I made that Italian, but you know, I've had a lot of caffeine this morning, so I'm just going to keep rolling with it. But very interesting how this all spread out. And honestly, that was a really convincing stop at the end from Saints 1. They were in full control of that cash out for a really convincingly long amount of time as everybody just dove on top of it.
Crutches continue their trend of finishing either first or second, though, and if they keep that going, they will come out with the most points from this Playday. So, you know, they're quietly getting the job done. I can't say that anyone on their team has stood out incredibly. You know, we've highlighted Mickey on Saints 1. We've highlighted Nagiri on Burnt Nuggets. We've highlighted Raimkit on the first map of Bernal for NTHX, but no one really has stood out on the side of Crutches, and yet they are the ones with the most points overall. So we'll keep our eyes on them for our final map, which is going to be Skyway Stadium. And of course, this is Saints 1 choice, so maybe there'll be some momentum carried through, but every single time it's changed hands so far.
Yeah, and change hands, I'm sure we will see even more of. That's what I'm really impressed with. These teams don't go for a wipe right away. They seem to kind of just go for a steal. They're hoping that in the midst of the chaos, they're able to get the steal and then kind of hold it after that. And I think it's just leading to some wild plays, people diving on it, lots of third partying happening as well. But yeah, what are your thoughts, Jerry, as we kind of wait for the new map to load up?
My thoughts are that Burnt Nuggets haven't won a map yet. They're the only team not to do so yet. And we are looking at them right now. We've seen some incredible performances from every single one of them. And they'll feel like maybe they are owed this map. So I think they'll come out swinging. We've already seen what Nagiri can do. We've seen Palmer and Norton popping off on other days as well. I feel like if one of them happens to wake up alongside Nigiri, then we'll have a real show on our hands. But it's the finals. There are 12 people in this lobby, and everyone wants to be the hero, or at least every team wants to be at the top of those standings by the end of it. Let's have a look at Bronx here. We've got the Gateway and the SH1900. Love that double barrel with a lot of digits in it. And he's been working this quite well so far. We've seen it pop up on our kill feeds a fair few times. But yeah, I want to see more of this action because he's a talented player that hasn't had his moment today yet.
Yep, we're going to see some good double barrel gameplay, just getting into the enemy's face, taking one shot, and the second one, just like that, goes for the reload, bouncing in and out, trying to get an elbow kill, but he did get two in the process. Really convincing for just a double barrel as we move over to Yoip as he tries to stay alive, and he does get the kill on the burnt nuggets just by a sliver of health. He is going to get his teammates back up, and they're going to get it going already. These teams are ready for blood.
And Saints 1 getting their own team wipe victory on the other side of the map means that we'll see Vault 2 deposited over at B in the office workspace area. So that looks like it was moving up as well. So I think that is an elevator objective, which would be very exciting. Although, of course, less exciting now that the elevator is somewhat destructible. Quite often it gets pulled out of it anyway, and they do have a winch on their side. They have done exactly that. It's been winched out into the open.
Sad to see. I love it when they decide to play inside the elevator, but we won't see it today as we move over to NTHX. They demat it through the floor and closed it up right below them. I think they left one of their teammates in there as well, and they are just waiting for anything to happen. They throw some fire down to get rid of the gas, buying them some good time. They break the wall and gives them perfect room to go for the steal, but they are getting swarmed by Saint 1 as they see them from above. They demat it and go through the roof, trying to find them, but they went too far. They went a floor too high. Now they spot them out, but this is not where you want to be if you are Pepe with the model. You want to be in their face, but there they are. They find them as the burnt nuggets join the fight as well. Pepe chasing them down, getting some good shots with that model, but can he continue to connect them? They are getting kind of reset as all of the teams go for the next battle.
I really like that we're seeing the rock, paper, scissors finally come into effect in Pro Hubs. The pyro grenade is a direct counter to the gas. You love to see it, and it hasn't worked out perfectly for NTHX, but I love the idea. Burnt Nuggets coming in, Palmer going real deep here, and he's going to surely get caught out here amongst the pigeons as Ploppy finds him. NTHX doing quite nicely for the time being. They have the sledgehammer to bring that point down. Doesn't quite reach the first time, so he's going to try and maybe bring it down a second attempt. No, he just gives up. Interesting choice there. Winched away. Nigiri takes out Emilien. As Saints 1, feeling blue. Renka finds that kill with Nigiri on the other end of the winch, and it's a bit too chaotic for anyone to take control here. We see now another team coming in for the steal. It's NTHX, but they're not going to get it. There's too much chaos, or are they? Wow, the protection is there. Renka with 2 kills on 2 different teams to secure the point, and they are still standing here, NTHX. The point is now on fire because they have that luxury with the pyro grenade, and they come out on top.
Yeah, that was wild to see. NTHX amongst the chaos were able to get the steal and the cash. Love to see how long they were able to buy it out. We're watching Bronx again as he gets that double barrel kill and then goes through a gateway to just get out of there. He's going to move towards Vault 3 with the rest of his team and regroup. This will be a great position for them to be in. Teams are kind of close. Sadly, the Burnt Nuggets, as we talked about, still struggling, so I'm not sure what they're doing wrong, but this is their last opportunity. They need to get on this next cash out, and a really weird play in that they decide to send their heavy on a bounce pad directly into one of the Saints 1 player, and then again left one of their other teammates just alone, and the Saints 1 swarmed on that opportunity. Burnt Nuggets, come on guys, y'all stayed in the oven a little too long.
Yeah, some real missteps here from Burnt Nuggets, and we have NTHX moving that vault across. They're now going to be met by Saints 1, who are having a slightly better day, but haven't quite got going here on Skyway just yet. They're closing that net around them. They can see them skirting through the building, and they take a lot of damage to NTHX. Some great shots there from someone to confirm it. He'll find the second surely onto this heavy outside. No, he has to reload. There we go. Finds it. Renka chucks that box away for good measure. Gateway out as he needs an escape here. Shoots back at Pepe. Pepe can't get the res. He does, in fact, get the res there. And now they're still trying to finish off what's left of NTHX. And it's surely just a matter of time. There we have it. Takes one. Finally grab control of the box. The res comes through onto someone, and they will move happily towards C. In the meantime, we can turn our attention to D, currently being defended by Crutches, but look, Burt Nuggets ready to take it.
Yeah, there they are, dematting through the wall. They were right on top of each other and didn't even know it. Nigiri looking for any kill, going through the floor in a nice little dematted spot as well. But the Crutches have moved to the roof. There is some C4 on it and gas as well. Everybody feels like they're using gas today, but now Nigiri goes for the steal. Demat is still open in the roof, and that leads to be his downfall in that fight. They have to pull off of it. Palma going into the stairwell, trying to find anybody else. He does get on top of one of them, but Nigiri goes down. There's just one person left for the Burnt Nuggets, and they're not looking good in this fight. They need to stay alive. They need to get something going. They have $2,000 in cash amongst them, but sadly, they're getting chased, and it is not looking good for the last member as he goes down and gets wiped. And that is wild. I don't even know how to say that name. Whoever did that.
Warzal.
Warzal did some great shots and really secured it for that fight. This cash out is still running down. There's a little bit left on it. 3 teams are here. C4 blows up in his face. He has that Shack 50 and it throws a red barrel. Time is just ticking down here as it looks like Saints 1 went for the steal, but they're going to get interrupted and popped out. Emilian goes down in that fight. Lots of climbing again from this heavy main. Throws gas on top of it, and he has really bought himself perfectly the amount of time and some great gameplay, honestly, from this unknown, weird named person I've never seen before.
Warzal is, I believe, Best Rig, just playing under a different name, yes. It's confusing as well because we've had Basics as a heavy on Crutches as well at different points. So yeah, it's changed a few times as we've mentioned. But yeah, he's doing his best, and it makes sense. His name is Best Rig. He's the best. But yeah, he's been fantastic so far. That was a real standout performance. I'm glad that we got to watch that. Burnt Nuggets are supposed to be holding on to this, but they are way beneath at the moment. The C4 drops it, and that is going to cause some problems for Saints 1. Out goes the glitch grenade, does get a hit marker as they are assisting each other. Someone finds a kill, as does Palmer. A bit of trading going on there. 2 versus 2 here in this building between Burnt Nuggets and Saints 1. Norton's finding the shots from above against someone. His opposite number dealt with that as a light out for the count. No wipe just yet. The steal is there. Was that a steal? No. No. That's a successful defense from Burnt Nuggets of the wipe coming through onto Saints 1.
Yeah, and on the other side of the map, it looks like NTHX have gotten this cash out started. One more vault will spawn, but I'm unsure if they'll go for it. It does kind of look like it spawned relatively close to A, so there might be a little bit of a chance for chaos if somebody just feels like adding on to it. But NTHX need to set up now. They have plenty of time. Nobody's really here. The Burnt Nuggets did go for the tap on the vault, and it looks like everybody's actually starting to set up and swarm for the vault instead. There goes one of the Burnt Nuggets down immediately. Nice little tracking and aim, but everybody is here. As I mentioned, we see the Crutches diving on top of the Burnt Nuggets. Saints 1 have decided to leave. Nigiri getting a shot off with the Cerberus. I love the kill feed. I love it so much. But
it does make a bit of a difference. Unfortunately, it's slightly low res for me, so sometimes I can't read the names, which is a real pain, but it is making a massive difference no matter what. Mickey really in the thick of it here, trying to find his way out. Decides not to take the fight onto the player right in front of him because he needs to play the objective a bit more smartly than that. Trying to get this steal here, just shooting, probing for any gas mines or anything that might be on it. Has that been winched? No, it has not been winched into a big jump pad. Those don't exist on the regular map. I'm thinking of Power Shift. Out comes the shots, though, denying the steal. Saints 1 out for the count. Not quite. They're still lingering around the corner, but NTHX have control of this box. It will put them in first place because it has been doubled now. So anyone could win the game here. 35 seconds left. They don't have much denial in their own pockets as the Pyro Grenade has already gone out. Down comes the dome, but the jump pad is out to bring them back away. He wants to winch it into a better spot. Great play there. They now need to set up, but everyone is going to be diving on this. It's as out in the open as it was before. Out goes a gas grenade to deny the point. Crutches coming in with some huge kills. Remke finds one with that sledgehammer, but he's taken out. Norton is finding his kills, but he's taken out as well. NTHX have been wiped, but the point is still theirs. With only 7 seconds left, we see a light trying to get it with the steal. Can't get on the position, though, quickly enough. Burnt Nuggets have missed their opportunity. NTHX finished first once again, and Crutches coming in second, as it's sort of their tradition now. They've done this 3 times today.
Yeah, you could say that they're maybe supporting the lobby, with the crutches.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, guys. I didn't sleep much last night, and I just kept coming up with puns because, what else am I supposed to do in a night like that? But yeah, just a really fun map, honestly. Everybody just seemed to kind of be at it. Hey, look, and there we go. My prediction was correct. Someone with the over 12 kills. So I think we had every map so far. One
Yeah.
person has just decided to pop off, and this one was someone, which sounds really weird to say out loud, but NTHX did a great job. Ramkey did amazing, honestly, of just buying time, holding it off, and on the other side of things, where we look at the crutches, they did great as well. They really have performed kind of at the same level as you mentioned throughout all of these maps, and it's wild to see a team can be consistent like that in such a wild format as Cash Out. It's just kind of cool to see somebody that's just kind of weathering these storms, basically.
Yeah, if you can consistently get first or second, then you're in a very good spot. And that is exactly what Crutches did. Only the 1 first place finish on Fortune Stadium. But they will come out with the most points from this Playday because of how well they've done across the board. NTHX with a couple of first place finishes as well. That's much better from them. We saw them playing really smart, objective-based gameplay, using the things like the Pyro Grenade, which we haven't seen much of at all this season, in response to the abundance of gas that other teams are playing with and utilizing. So it made a big difference. It got them a few steals, bringing that sledge heavy as well. Huge, as Remke just making himself known. And yeah, Saints 1, who went into today with the most points in the entire of Pro League in EU, have taken a massive hit to their standings with a couple of 3rd and 4th place finishes.
Yeah, really just weird to see how it all shook up because it didn't play out like I expected. I expected Saints 1 to really be heavy hitters, but there were teams like NTHX that obviously came back after like just feeling down in their first matches, first 3, and just wanted to change everything up. And yeah, that's kind of what I saw. The Burnt Nuggets didn't really perform kind of where I expected either. They kind of fell not where I'd hoped, but in looking at the updated score, they are still in 3rd. So, they were able to kind of,
like that's before everyone else has a chance to play, right? Like this is the problem. Right now we're seeing where they sit and where they can, possibly be surpassed. Saints 1, before the Playday began, how many points did they have? I'm just checking. They had 1,082. In previous Playdays, they've amassed, like 400 or so. Today, it's way below that. It's not even 300. So, yeah, this could be a real opportunity for teams like Amos Blue, for instance, Gungala, to really resurge and try and claim that 2nd or 1st place spot. And of course, we have these teams competing today, but we'll turn our attention to Group B. Amos Blue, Amos Red, Divine Dead, and Resi are going to be the next ones up on your screen. We will throw it to a fairly short break to get these teams up and running, but don't go too far. We'll be back very shortly.
It's showtime!
The real world can be unfriendly, misleading, confusing. But your world doesn't have to be. Reality Shield will protect you, cutting out the noise, making the world perfect. We do not censor. We cultivate. Engimo.
This isn't just a game. This is TNT. Welcome to the jungle and welcome to 8 Squad's Thursday Night Throwdown.
Featuring the game's top talent, pick up games where chimps become champions.
Thursday nights 8 to 10 p.m. every week, only on 8 Squad. Catch us live on air the stars. Distant, watching. When will they arrive? Will your family be disintegrated first or last? Will your family dog become their leader? With Holtau's alien invasion insurance, you don't have to worry. Alto, we got your back.
In the world of sports, every second counts. Every move matters. That's where a Spooze comes in, the sports beverage designed for champions. With a Spooze, it's simple as pop, pour, perform. Packed with electrolytes and essential nutrients to keep you hydrated and energized, Osbooze is your go-to drink for peak performance. Whether you're just carrying the vault or securing the winning cash out, Osbooze is there to fuel your victory. Its unique formula is scientifically designed to boost your stamina and focus. Osbooze, for those who dare to excel. Pop, pour, perform.
That strange thought you just had, where did it come from? And was it even yours? Our new Series 2000 effectively suppresses third-party influence and eccentricity, outperforming our competitors within the standard deviation of conformity. With the Series 2000, your mind stays in control. Via, we as one.
The life giver. The sun. Always on. The source of everything that is good. But can it be trusted? Holtau's Sun Insurance will have you covered if the unimaginable happens and the light goes out. Holtau, brighter than ever.
Absorbe ce que c'est. Monde. Monde. Pour misérable et fortuné. Absorbe. Ce que tu désires devenir, c'est ce que tu es. Alors, absorbe. Absorbe.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the EU Pro Hubs Pro League Season 0. We are here with Playday 4. My name is Jerry. I'm here with Rio, and he's not that side, he's that side. I always do this because it's mirrored, but yeah. We've had a fantastic group just gone by, Group A. We've seen the return of NTHX, the fall of the Saints as well, and I think Aimers Blue in particular in this group coming up right now will be eyeing that top spot, Rio.
Yeah, and interestingly enough, we will have both of the Aimers teams in this. So Aimers Blue and Aimers Red. So I kind of love when both Aimers get at it, but that's not to take away from Divine Dead, and I call it Reset. What do you say their team name is there, Jerry?
Well, we were running with Resi, we were running with Reci on Wednesday because we took it to mean like it's a French word. They might be a French team, but I think they're not a French team as we found out. So actually, it is just Recit, which is a bit weird. But hey, you know, it means like narrative or something, or it's just a word. We don't know what they're going for, to be honest. Divine Dead at least makes sense, and aim is red and blue. Yeah, with both Noah X and Atelco on opposite sides, as twin brothers. So far this season, Aimers Blue have been getting the better of Aimers Red, and this is not the first time that they have met. They played against each other in the group on Playday 2, and in that day, Aimers Blue outpaced Aimers Red on every single map except one.
Ooh, that is an interesting observation. I wonder if that means we might see some red versus blue action. And you know what, chat? I have said it once and I'm going to say it again. If you have a favorite team, follow along as we get started on Monaco. If you don't have a favorite team, you now have a favorite color. So if you have a favorite color, find the corresponding color, and now that is your favorite team. Aimers Blue will be in orange. Aimers Red will thankfully be in red. So it makes it a little bit easier, just slightly less confusing. But here we go, getting started on Bernal. I'm excited to see what happens.
As am I, Rio, as am I. Here we go. So, we did see in the last game a fair amount of avoiding the lowest ranked team, and that turned out to be to NTHX's benefit as they came out very high. I wonder if the same will happen with Reci and Divine Dead, who are currently 12th and 11th seed respectively going into this game. But you can't avoid every team, so we'll have to see what happens. Aimers Red on the other side of this balcony here as Aimers Blue look to face off against their opposite colors. Down goes God Moneta, the light on the side of Aimers Blue, and also Noah X. What the fuck? Unfortunately, taken down very low and finishes himself off with the RPG. A very quick early victory for Aimers Red. And on the other side, Divine Dead have won theirs against Reci, punching down just the one place in the standings, but punching down, you know, it's the only direction, it's the only way in which they can punch down is if they're beating Reci right now.
Yeah, interesting start to this map, and we see that... Plenty more time to keep on learning, but it's not gonna matter because it looks like Aimers Blue have decided to dive right on this point, right as Aimers Red are here as well. Cash out is getting started, but the chase is on. What the fuck? Noah X and God Vanetta very low, just a couple of bars in between them. RPG in hand, but it's not gonna do enough because he just goes down in that fight, and Aimers Red get wiped by the Aimers Blue.
Wow, it's very, very close, that fight, at least. So now we hop on over to see whether Recit can get their revenge from their early deaths against Divine Dead. They're doing quite well right now. We see Averex not quite land the shots, but Temi Tim has taken himself and a couple of others out on his way. YOLO 2D finding the res at the end of that wipe. Very successful there from Recit as... yeah, we've seen revenge go both ways in this lobby so far. We should hop back over to Aimers Blue versus Aimers Red on the other cash out as this steal will go through.
Yeah, when we're over here immediately as both teams are getting set up. Aimers Blue in full control, setting up on the top to get themselves as much vantage point as they can. And we see now as Aimers Red comes in, they are on it. They demat it down. It does drop. It's going to force Aimers Blue to dive on it. They are all now grouped up. The steal is going off. They demat the wall and demat the floor. APS goes down in that fight. God Bonetta just immediately deleted on the bounce pad. Aimers Red looking very low. One person left. The bow is out from Pharos. Can he find the last person on Aimers Red to secure them this cash out? I am not sure, but it does look like they did. So Aimers Blue went down in that wipe, and Aimers Red getting it. And honestly, some convincing gameplay from a bow.
Now, Ferios is a known bow player, but we haven't seen it in Pro Hubs yet. He was playing it a little bit in Ruby Grind, and I was very happy to see that happen. He's finally bringing it out here, and I love it. I am a massive bow stan. YOLO 2D looks like he's going to be one of the last alive. Does manage to find Ollie on the other end of his gun, though, and in fact is in a decent spot as Temi Tim does find the res onto Averex. It's a 3 versus 1 here. They finish off alone in Paris. He was alone in Bernal right there, and now he's going to be finally together again with his friends. Sadly, it's at the respawn screen.
Yep, Divine Dead have grouped up in the graveyard. Hate to see it as they get wiped, but they are looking pretty at the second place in the leaderboard right now with just $1,500 below them from first place. But immediately we're going to dive over to it as they get spotted out by Aimers Red. We're seeing a nice little casual rooftop battle. This is a nice place where both teams can pop in and out and deal each other damage. There is that bow going off. I did hear a few bow shots. Good place to set up, but it's not going to matter as the vault goes through that gateway, and I'm curious if they're going to follow as well. There is Pharaohs. Can he connect the shots? He's got one. They're all pretty low, so he really just needs one or two more bow shots on them.
There we go.
He gets another. Can they follow it up? They did. They got the wipe. Well done.
Very nice. The bow is an interesting weapon because it's not a weapon that you can necessarily reliably pop off with as a solo player, but it just does such substantial burst damage that if your team plays around you well, they can follow it with, you know, a couple of bullets and then you've done the job. It's the impact that it has out of nowhere that makes the bow somewhat viable, in the same way that the sniper can be viable as well. It just allows you to brawl a little bit more close range than, say, the sniper does.
Yeah, you're right, but it's still just not used a lot, and this
Yeah.
is the first time that we have it, so I'm hopeful, and it does look like he has a couple of kills to his name, so making it work, and Bernal is honestly a really good map for it. There's lots of sight lines for him. You can kind of climb up and do exactly what he's doing, and there it is. We're going to see him pop off again, hopefully. He gets spotted out, goes down to 2 bars. They are chasing, trying to find that low light if they can. Averex setting up in going invis. He spots one of them out, brings that dome shield down. Gonna try and bring Timmy Tim back. His teammate is back up. They spot them all through the floor, dealing a lot of damage with that XP. Can he continue the chase? Can he continue the hunt? He spots another one, gets Persona down, and there is the last one, the bow versus an XP. Can it make anything happen? It looks like a res went off on them as well. Aimers Red gets back up, but it is not doing good for their cash out. They need to stay on top of this, as it looks like Reset is trying to go for the steal. They're here. They put up the barricades. They are getting it. Averex just holding it. There's their heavy putting up the mesh shield, blocking the points as they need it to get it, and they're in full control. Can they hold it?
Etelko finds YOLO2D. He was on Overwatch, the medium, and so now they're in a decent position here, but the res is coming through from Temi Tim just indoors. They're going to try and go straight for the steal here. Aimers Red to get it back. They're forcing them close on in. They have the Overwatch from Etelko, who's doing bits with that FAMAS. He finds one. The scrap is incumbent, but look at all the kills rain through for Aimers Red. Ferios finding one with his bow in the middle of that. That is a wipe onto Reset. They will get the steal very successfully. On the other side of things, Aimers Blue looks like they've wiped Divine Dead, and they will happily continue with their second cash, or rather their first cash out of the map.
Yeah, and that's an interesting thing that I'm seeing from Aimers Red. They seem to kind of like let the other team take it as long as there's enough time, and then they regroup and then just dive on it and take it back. It's just really nice play of just timings and everything in that. So cool to see. I am enjoying seeing Aimers Red back in this lobby, and it looks like they're doing well, sitting pretty on top. Popping over to Divine Dead, alone in Paris, throwing up his mesh shield, throws the C4 down as well, knows he's getting chased, drops it off, but one of his teammates, Ollie, takes a lot of damage, probably an RPG right to the face. There is the lock bolt in hand as well. This will work out perfectly as Aimers Red is right below him. He has the opportunity to lock all of them in here, right on the stairwell. He does. He gets at least 2 of them in that fight. He is looking for the next, having to dive in and out alone with that Shack 50, dealing damage left and right, bringing down the APS turret as well. His team is sitting pretty in this next fight.
Yeah, it didn't just bring down the APS, it brought down Aimers Red to a single player who's had to back up. That is Ferios, which we see rezzing in the distant building there, alone in Paris, now scarpering away. On the other side, we have already entered the final minute or so, 2 minutes, sorry, of gameplay, as the B point has been secured by Resit, and that will put them into second place if it is the only vault in play. But 6 is being moved right now by Aimers Blue in the other direction towards A, so we may have a split focus for this final couple minutes of the game. Amers Blue coming into contact with their opposite color, Amers Red. Out goes the winch, and it will go the way of What the Fuck in the Battle of the Heavies. Person taken down, but Godmanetta's doing some bits there. Amers Blue on top. NoX finds the res as well. It looks as though Amers Red are going to suffer here. They have to fall back. Once again, I think Ferios is the one still surviving. No, it doesn't look like that. In fact, that is the medium who's getting the res off. And we see now the beam is set up for Godmanetta with this ARN, a newly available thing for the lights to be able to wield. And this is such a good vantage point for them.
Yeah, they have everything to their advantage right now. Godmanetta has really godlike aim at times with this ARN. Fun to see it. He is set up. He's got everything vantage point wise for him. And I don't even think anyone wants to fight him. Yeah, everybody is at B. Cash Out is halfway there. Moving over to Persona, he throws that RPG down, misses, breaks a lot of damage to the roof, but it's not going to do anything for him. He tries for a winch claw and misses that as well. Hate to see it as he chases the next person down with his SA shotgun. He finds one but goes down in that fight. Not what you want to have happen. The res is going to go off from YOLO. Can he get it? But he is down in that fight as well. One person left for their team as we move over to Itelco as he's just chasing them and getting kill after kill for Amers Red. They're going to get full control of this and secure the top spot. I don't know why they're being bullies.
Amers Red already have second place guaranteed, but this would give them first over Amers Blue, which is huge. They had to play the larger scale and know that they want to outdo Amers Blue, not just in this match, but also in the standings. And a further twist as Divine Dead, with 15 seconds left, have claimed that cash out. It looks as though Receipt are going to be finishing last, but that has knocked Amers Blue down a peg or two. Ollie trying to survive as he finds his way back inside, has to defend it, takes out What the Fuck. Great plays coming out from Divine Dead. They find the wipe on Amers Blue and claim second place out of nowhere.
Yeah, just wild, and Amers Red were really going after it. They wanted to make sure that they were at the top and no room for anybody to be below them. I'm impressed, honestly. That's just wild, and yeah, they timed it perfectly, and then kind of everybody left them alone. They didn't want to fight them, so maybe some good strategy. Maybe it's just Bernal. I don't know. But who popped off in this map? Itelco.
Itelco. It's so often Itelco. And yeah, claiming the top spot as well. I mean, they played that so smartly because if they had decided to stick around and contest Amers Blue, then, you know, they see that potentially as a more difficult fight, which is fair. But also, by going to the point with more bodies on it and trying the third party, they gave themselves plenty of kills, and that guaranteed them at least a second place finish. And then they got the steal at the end of it as well. So very smart play objectively and just understanding the flow of the game there from Amers Red. Amers Blue languishing in third. That is not the way that they would have wanted to start their day, particularly with the way that Saints 1, just above them in the standings to begin with, have dropped points substantially today. This may be viewed as a missed opportunity if things continue like this for Amers Blue.
Yeah, it's going to be the battle of Amers today. I really think, especially as we load into the next map on Monaco. So that will kind of lend to a lot of rooftop fights. And I have seen the Amers play a lot. And I think that that's going to really lend towards kind of their play style. But it will be kind of anybody's map. I feel bad that we're only kind of focusing on Amers. But what are your thoughts on the other teams? How do they outclass the Amers?
I mean, it's definitely doable, right? We've seen, unfortunately, Resit, who were doing fairly well in that game at a certain point. You know, they looked like they were going to get that second place spot. They got stolen from right at the end, and they fall to a familiar last place finish for them, which is not too great. Divine Dead having that second place spot, very good. You know, they played right till the end at their very best. They got that steal at the last minute, and that's what's given them hope. So Divine Dead showing why they are, you know, not to be sniffed at for certain. We'll see how things continue. Of course, many will see this group as a group of halves, right? You've got the aimers at the top and the others at the bottom. And that's fair. You know, everyone has kind of earned their position at this point so far in the season, but it's not all said and done. So, how will things fare on Monaco? A very tight-knit map. We've seen lots of things sort of be flipped on their head on this map in the past. Will it happen again?
I am not sure, but I am sure of one thing, and that is my excitement to get into map 2. This is a very stacked group and really going to have some great gameplay. Monaco is a great map, and I can't wait to see what these teams bring. We're immediately watching a Telco, the top frag of the last map, as he tries to spot anybody out with the FAMAS. Gateway is set up at Vault 1. They're ready to take it to the cash out at, looks like, probably B. B will be the closest one for them, and they seem fairly uncontested. I take that back, as it looks like Divine Dead has dived right onto them. They are clashing on top of this rooftop. Looks like one of the Divine Dead went down, two of them down as well. Alone in Paris, the last person up. He's in the rooftop. There was a lockbolt that went off, but it's not going to save him as they get wiped in this early fight.
Telco didn't even seem like he was getting a ton of help from his whole team there. But yeah, they're coming out on top in that fight. We have Amers Blue now ready to stand off against Resit, who are standing very far afield from this box. Maybe just expecting the point to be brought to them. They are holding around that A objective. The gateway is used and the jump pad is set up so he can sail straight past them. Just ignore the barrier in front of him. No X gets that point plugged immediately. But the fight is happening in the middle ground here. We see Godmanetta takes down one, takes down two. And he might have won it solo here. Look, he's going for the final one. It will be a solo team wipe from the light of Godmanetta. His team didn't even take a scratch in that. How's he done that?
Yep, and we got the bunnies bouncing through the alleyway as well as he got those kills. Love to see the Easter themes. Wow. Move over to a Telco as he finds Alone in Paris, and they get a wipe as well. Gopher, you logged in. What are you logging in and playing? You need to be watching these games. Come on, bud.
We're starting to see what's happening if the aimers decide to not focus on each other and instead end up fighting the teams that are a bit lower down in the standings. We've only seen one kill combined from both Resit and Divine Dead in these opening pairs of engagements so far. They need to step it up against this quality of opposition. They need to maybe coordinate slightly better. We'll see how Resit fare now that they know what they're up against. Moving forward with that mesh shield in tow, they zip up to the building on the right, giving themselves a little bit more ground, a little bit more close range to try and unleash this M60. It will do a bit more damage at close range. That drop-off is drastic for the LMG. We see them moving close on in now, separated only by a single roof. It's the light player getting ready to send it up with the gateway. They need the help of this stationary zip, and they go all in. The light has already been taken down, followed quickly by Temi Tim. Amers Blue not taking a single casualty, barely taking any damage again, Rio. It's the same story, but now Divine Dead looking to third party off the back of what little damage Resit have done.
Yeah, they're here. They're ready to fight already.
Oh,
and
but they've got Amers Red behind them.
Everybody is here. They're going to have to dive on it. This is going to be a last-second play if they can hold it. They're not able to stay on it, and they have to dive off. There is everybody up still on Divine Dead if they're able to get it secured. They get a kill. They're buying themselves time. The steal is going off. They're holding E for all of their life. They get the steal. Divine Dead. Love to see it, and gas goes off below them as well to just help them secure that cash out. This is a wild game.
You know what happened? I think I caught it in the kill feed there. We saw Amers Blue get wiped partially by Amers Red. Amers Red came over to make Amers Blue's life misery and are very happy for Divine Dead to steal it off the back of it. That is the chaos of the finals. That is the chaos of a large-scale group stage happening outside of this cash out as well. We have some rivalries. We have, you know, completely different stakes for each of these teams. For Resit and Divine Dead, it's survival. For Amers Blue and Amers Red, they're trying to take chunks out of each other.
Yeah, chunks out of each other is a great way of putting it. As a lock bolt went off and Bungie jumped somebody out to the side of the roof, out to the side of the window. Words are hard sometimes. Cash Out C has been started, but nobody's here because everybody wants to fight over Vault 3. There is a Telco just dealing a lot of damage with that FAMAS. He's going for a reload. DMAT's through the wall. He is very low, and his teammate Prozone is going down as well. He is in chase and spots one of the Divine Dead members out, gets him down. A team wipe, and is going to be able to get his team back up.
Oh, that reload was punishing for Alone in Paris there. It seemed like it took forever, and he just had the FAMAS melting through his spine the whole time. Amers Blue will be back in the lobby now, and we'll get to see where the remaining cards fall. But Cards don't fall, pieces fall. That's where pieces fall, you know. Cards are dealt. But whatever, we're mixing up our idioms here, and I'm showing myself to be the real idiom. As look, Person is taken out, melted completely by Resit. They send it real far to try and commit to that plug on D, get the money, but the steal will come back for Resit. That being said, plenty of time for Aimers Red to go at it again.
Yeah, and Aimers Blue are in control of the cash out on the other side of the map. They have full control. We see them diving down, if they can, on top of that cathedral. Doesn't matter, they want to stay up there a little bit longer. They're going to be forced out by Divine Dead as they push in directly right on top of them. Interesting play as he goes down and gets a trade from the member. Aimers Blue gets their teammate back up from that res, but Noah X is very low. 19 HP, diving and weaving in between these barricades, and he's able to get a kill on all of the Divine Dead team members. Really great team play.
Yeah, huge plays, and Divine Dead suffering now. It looks as though Aimers Red looking like they want to take this opportunity to go in the final moments of Cash Out C and take it off of Aimers Red there. Wow, their rivals being met with a hail of arrows, and Ferios doing some work. Can he find the last one? He's going to have to stick this steal, but he's in the gas and he has to move, and that is going to force him out wide. Just a tiny bit more movement would have made the difference. But it doesn't work out for Aimers Red. They get the wipe on Aimers Blue, though. And they're still top.
It's just wild to see, and really just everybody is just panicking on these cash outs. And I love the utilization of gas. Just all of these, you know, in-game stuff is just being utilized in a way that we haven't seen before. I've seen goo used more recently than ever, and honestly, gas seems to be the king. But we're going to see one more fight over D as Divine Dead try and go for the steal, but the Resit are trying to stop them at any point that they can. Averex very low, bouncing in and out, and I'm not sure that they can get it. It is alone very low, and he gets wiped in that fight, and Resit are able to hold the cash out. Really well done.
Huge for them, moves them up to third, only just behind Aimers Blue. While they may not outpace them for kills in a lobby of this quality, there is obviously the last chance to try and get one of these two final cash outs. 6 is in play and will be tapped successfully by Resit, taking them up to exactly tied for second place. Aimers Red have control of B. They've got Aimers Blue bearing down upon them, but Aimers Red decided to play this from indoors. They, of course, have that DMAT and the FAMAS and all of these long-range guns. I believe we have Person running a SA-12, so he may want to get a little bit closer to deal with that. Divine Dead, though, coming in hot to try and steal. It looks like we're going to get some third-partying, although I would say Aimers Red, in reality, are the third party here onto their own cash-out. They've positioned themselves so well.
Yeah, and we see this like time and time again. They really stay a little bit away from the cash out, and this is why it got pulled and manipulated over into a corner, and I still think that they can see it, but they decide to push on to the point. They take a lot of damage, but one of them is able to get a couple of kills in that battle. They are battling Divine Dead and looking for any way to get some more kills. The cash out is winched again by Aimers Blue. They seem to be completely lost, and nobody is going to stop them in there. I take it back as Divine Dead throws a glitch grenade down, breaks the dome shield. What the fuck? Takes a lot of damage, has to back off. He's down to just one little bar. Are they going to chase him, go for the kill? I'm not sure. He's going to maybe go for the steal one more time. Moving over to Noah X as he's jumping in and out of these buildings. Hates those windows, has to find a new vantage point. Time is running low. There's maybe 20 seconds left on this cash out. 3 teams are here. Everybody is surrounded. It is in control by Aimers Red, but it seems like Divine Dead want to make their move. They're going for it. They're trying to go for the steal, but Aimers Blue dives on there and able to stop the steal. There is Aimers Red now trying to get back into the fight. Everybody dying left and right. Noah X gets the res on what the fuck. They need to hold the angle. They need to hold
with kills.
They're able to stop it. Well done, but it's not their cash out. They're just here to fight. They're here to add to the chaos.
They needed those kills. They needed the extra money to put themselves potentially in first place once this final cash out. Resit, in the midst of all that chaos, plugged in A. Now they have to just win the fight against Amers Red. We know how good Amers Red can be, but they're split up. They're panicking. We see Atelco on the floor. We see the Heavy down by the ground on low HP. Ferios has to go in close with this bow. He needs some picks. He is their saving grace. Divine Dead going straight for the objective. They don't want anything to do with these kills. Amers Red need kills, though. And now, Resit forced to dive on their own point. It is being stolen. It is almost successful, in fact. It's being stuck here. It looks like it's going to go through. Divine Dead, they've managed it. They've stolen second place, and they've knocked Resit down to third. Huge plays from Divine Dead in the final moments. The mesh shield making the difference. And Amers Red come out on top, if only because Divine Dead were just that bitch better. Bits better. I just swore.
Yes, they were, Jerry, and honestly, just wild to see the Amers Red continue to paint the town of Monaco red with all of their aiming. Truly wild to see, but you're right, they just barely made it into first, and Divine Dead were able to just ink out a second place. That whole last minute was wild. Both cash outs had everybody just fighting over them. They moved to the other one and then diving on it at left and right as a caster is just wild to try and see these people be in control. And yeah, I had no idea which way that map was going to go. And I love this group so far.
It's been a wild ride. Resit were a second away from a first place finish. They have not won a single map so far this split. And they were so close to getting it. They played that almost perfectly, being the fourth party over that second to last cash out to guarantee themselves kills, to make sure that Amers Red were the ones that were claiming it at the very end. And then they just couldn't defend the point. So unfortunate.
It really is, because you could see that Resit was trying. Like, they came back.
Yeah.
This was their map. I could feel it. This was their comeback moment. They were going to take it in this map and then continue it on for the next one. But, just this game mode is so wild, Jerry. Like, anything can happen. And yeah, that was map 3, right? We have one more. Or is that map?
That was map 3. That was map 3. And oh, that was map 2. My bad. Yeah, so interestingly, Amers Blue finished that last.
Oh,
unbelievable,
wow.
Given the state of play in the middle of that game, or what we thought was going to shake out. And unbelievable, given that they went into the day as the top-seeded team from this group. This is what happens. We were talking about it during that game, how Amers Blue had a point to their name in the very corner by Grandma's house, and Amers Red were happy to go and grief them, essentially, turn up and make sure that they didn't get that point. That is the rivalry that's at play, and all of these stakes are so interweaving. It's not like your typical team versus team where it only matters that you win. You've got to make sure that you're manipulating that lobby and putting your rivals down a peg or two as well at the same time.
Yeah, I can't agree more, but we are loading into Sis Horizon. We haven't seen Sis Horizon today as far as I can recall, so this will be fun to get into it. It's normally chosen nearly always, so I'm happy to see it picked as these teams load in. I think it's just going to be a battle. These are very close teams. I don't know who to root for, but I do love to see Pharaoh still rocking the bow. This is a great play for him. Great place to bring it out, because he's got lots of sight lines. He gets one shot. Following it up, can he get a second? Can he get a third? He needs to just get a little bit of a tickle damage, and unable to chase. Can he get it? Oh, it's so heartbreaking, but he is doing damage and really helping his team. He throws a gateway down and is able to bounce right on top of this vault, has a new vantage point, and is trying to spot them out. He does spot another member from Resit, and he is diving in there and bouncing all his way around, and they do get the team wipe. Nice to finally see some good bow action.
Very clean. We see Amers Blue getting wiped on the other side by Divine Dead. Divine Dead really feeling, a little bit of a surge here after that final second steal on the last map of Monaco. Now, coming to this game, as I mentioned, Resit have not won a game yet, but their best finish so far this season has been a second place on this map, on Sis Horizon, on Wednesday.
Okay.
Now, they have improved. I will say that. Just looking at the quality of their gameplay, their decision making, it is improving. Today is a huge test for them, up against both Aimers teams and a Divine Dead side who will be seeing Resit in particular as direct rivals against, you know, relegation or not even making the playoffs. So this is possibly their hardest test yet, and they're doing all right considering. But all right is not good enough. You don't get a prize for participation in this league, so they've got to step it up. Goblinetta taking a bit of damage, being sort of controlled there by the lock bolt, which is more of a control tool there. They didn't really capitalize on it. Aimers, Divine Dead, they just sort of wanted to lock their opponents in place. The steal is being baited. The shots come out through the roof. Alone in Paris taking a lot of damage there, and he's the medium. He's going to have to wait a little bit, sorry, he's the heavy. He's going to have to wait a little bit for that regen to come through. And we see, again, Alone in the action as they fall back, and we've still got a 3v3 going on this point.
Yeah, both teams are just ready, but they are playing it slow. Cash out is halfway done, so nobody really has to panic just yet. Did I just see a data reshaper? I love to see that. They data reshaped that mine into a flower pot, and it looks like they did it with the other one as well. It's really funny to see just that in game, and I haven't seen it really used in pro leagues, so that is just wild. But we move over to God Mineta. He is still rocking that AR in. He spots one of their heavies out, but he goes through the gateway and stops him from getting the kill on him. Their team is resetting, but the cash out is down to the last fourth. It looks like they got a nice kill on that bounce pad. You gotta be careful. What the fuck? Throwing up a barricade now, trying to block any damage, but he goes down as well. It looks like Aimers Blue are down to their last person, but they do get a res. Noah X back in the fight, and God Mineta down to just 2 bars. He is the last person, and it is not looking good as Divine Dead are in full control over this. Ollie gets the res on his teammate as well. Alone in Paris down on the bottom. God Mineta getting a couple of kills in that fight, but it's still not gonna matter. He's gonna get chased by Alone in Paris. He finally gets the wipe, but Divine Dead get the cash.
Absolutely, and huge plays there up against Aimers Blue. Aimers Blue must be feeling a little bit rough now to have lost what is a long fight there up against Divine Dead. Divine Dead has had their number continually, always, you know, even from the Vault fight, they were on top. So yeah, Aimers Blue just not looking as hot today as they have done in the past. Aimers Red, really the better side from what we've seen today, which goes against the grain of play from the rest of the season. And now we move on to the second wave of Vaults, and we can see, you know, Averix in our kill feed, finding a kill on Wodthar. So Aimers Blue again, suffering here. Now at the hands of Resit, which must feel even worse. And
Ooh,
yeah,
very.
cash out. Yeah, no, it's true though. Cash out being winched outside, and yeah, this is a good position for Aimers Red to have a sight over it. Aimers Blue look like they're recovering in their fight against Resit as the kills come through, the defibs come through. We can see Everix scarpering away. Aimers Blue turning their attention to that vault box. It looks as though it's been guarded by Divine Dead, who will have the opportunity to maybe steal, but they want to try and confirm the clear and the wipe onto Resit. They do exactly that with Rose finding the final shots. We haven't had to talk about Rose very much today. A very talented light player, but he's been a little bit anonymous so far. And now we'll just see whether Aimers Blue can surge up and take this box and this cash out back from Divine Dead.
Yeah, Divine Dead in full control. Maybe they're feeling a little bit blessed right now, but they have to stay in it if they want to get at least second and, you know, really battle against Aimers Red. Seems to have slowed down God Mineta with the godlike movement as well, but they need to kind of do something. Aimers Blue is very down below everybody else.
They're rotating to A to D because they know that timer is lower and they want to tackle that and then maybe have a shot at C afterwards. Either that or they're repositioning to try and third party, but no, looks like they're going straight for D. Ferios is in a great position here. Oh, nice spot of that gateway. We'll disable it for a short period with the glitch grenade. And they find some targets on the other side. And now that is going to be a call towards the bow to come and get the flank of God Mineta. He has no idea who is behind him, and they are exposing themselves. There's the gas grenade being chucked out by that bow. That should surely be a signal. Down comes some arrows. We can see them coming out. It's taking serious damage. God Mineta really in a tough pickle there. And there's the flank successful from Ferios. He bowed his time so well. The gas will see the timer out as well. And that is enough for Aimers Blue's attack to completely fizzle out. The timer just didn't work for them.
He definitely bode his time and was able to get it. He's still finding shot after shot, and we're just loving watching a good bow player in the game. I just can't believe that it's a gun or a weapon that we can use. This cash out is running low. It does look like Divine Dead is in good control. There's that gas coming into play. Once again, Pharaoh's maybe going for the steal, but not enough time. He does go down
love this
in that.
janky camera.
Elko is going for the steal as well, but again, it doesn't have enough time and he gets deleted in that fight. It just seems like Aimers Red just want to go for as much cash, any opportunity that they can, and it's not always working out for them, but it is working out for them in the long run because they are on top.
I love that janky camera bug is like cool and tasteful. it's so lucky. You know, we could have a bug where the camera turns upside down or something, but no, it's just that it tilts at a slight angle and makes it look a little bit, you know, kind of yeah, it's like handheld kind of vibes.
Yeah.
So that's really lucky and cool. I don't know why it happens. I don't know if we can replicate it. Of course, you know, Embark, if you're watching, we do like trying to find these sort of things and report them to you. So yeah, that's a funny one. Don't patch that. I like it. Keep it in the game. It's a feature now, not a bug.
Give us the ability to kind of go left and right with the camera.
Yeah,
Camera control.
What are the camera controls called? I never remember. There's like roll. I think it's roll. I think that's roll.
Roll
It's like a
until-
barrel
yeah.
roll. Yeah. Cool.
Well, barrel roll into the next combat is what we are seeing now. I think that kind of works, but it doesn't matter because we're watching these bow shots work until they can't, and he goes down. They are diving in and out in between kind of those like wooden tables and chairs, and it's somehow working for them. Pharos grabs it after being res and is going to take it over to cash out A. They are in control of it, and Aimers Red are just doing everything that they can to get as much cash as they have 40k now and are going for the next 18. I think that the combat is going to move over to cash out B because nobody really wants to deal with the Aimers Red just yet.
No, they have aura. We talk about it. Me and Artie talk about it all the time. The measurable metric in this game that is aura. Rose acquiring some of that himself as he almost finishes his entire enemy team off. It will be a solo team wipe against Resit from Rose. We said he was, you know, maybe being a little bit anonymous, a little bit unnoticed so far this game. We have to take our words back. He has heard the call, and he's stepping up for Divine Dead. That's going to put them in a comfortable second place if they can hold on to it for just a moment longer. Aimers Red on the other side of the map have slightly longer to hold their point for. I think it looks as though Aimers Blue have maybe missed their chance to get this. And now Divine Dead are just farming them for kills. What the fuck? Doing a little bit of damage there. Godmanetta finding his opposite number. And now actually, it looks as though Aimers Blue low on HP, the both of them, up in a 2 versus 1. Potential hero moment here for the heavy on the side of Divine Dead. Alone in Paris gets one. He needs to up the shack though. Oh, but his opponents have found the res. And that is it. Aimers Blue come out on top, but they're still last place, and they have to farm maybe one more kill. They have 40 seconds to get across the map and involve themselves in what is Aimers Red's point, and they're holding this for a second first place finish in a row.
They're inside the ball. They're inside the giant reflective ball. They dematted in it, and that is where Aimers Red is hiding. They are on the point. Look at that. Look at the camera. They're all in there. They are waiting for somebody to go for a steal, and they're going to pop out. There they are. Happy Easter, everybody, as they dive out, blow up the gas on point, go back inside, but Noah X is here to spot them out. It doesn't matter, though. They winch claw it off. It looks like the Easter Bunny came early for the Aimers Red as they secure $58,000 in cash in probably one of the funniest things I've ever seen in the finals.
Happy Easter, everybody! That
Happy
is
Easter.
incredible. That is incredible. We had the Jack in the Box play last week
Really?
with a team emerging from a shipping container, but that takes the takes the biscuit. It takes the egg. Incredible. Incredible. You know what's even funnier? Aimers Blue came across the map and got a couple of kills. Look at where they are in the standings.
Oh, wow.
And look at where
Interesting.
Resit are in the standings.
Oh, poor Resit.
Resit getting dealt the you are 4th place because you didn't recently find a cash out. That's so rough. So rough.
Well, and for people that don't know, what we're talking about is these two teams are tied. They have $9,000 each. And the way that it works in the finals is actually the team that gets to that number first will be higher in the scoreboard. So what we're seeing here is that Amers Blue basically just got the cash a little bit before Resit was able to. And unfortunately, that's how the scoreboard plays out. It's not a random choice. It is decided by kind of how it played out in the map. So wild to see. I love this group. I've said it before in the last map, but this is a true fun one. You can see the rivalry and then just kind of the utter chaos that happens from the rest of the teams when they get involved in that rivalry between the red versus blue. Yeah, I don't have any thoughts beyond that was funny and fun. And if that's what we saw in map 3, map 4 is going to be even wilder.
Yeah. I have some notes which I'm going to save for later about just the meta. It's very interesting in the moment, but I'll save those for the end because it's a little bit of a deeper one. I want to talk about how this group is going so far. Amers Red have won 3 maps in a row. I don't think we've seen that this season in Pro League. I don't think a single team has managed to do that, and they could make it 4. So Amers Blue, who at the start of the day, they were second in the league. They've fallen on the same kind of fate as Saints won earlier. They've turned up with a target on their backs, and now they finished 3rd. They finished 4th. They finished 3rd again. They're looking pretty worse for wear. I thought that they were going to look at that top place finish and think, Saints want to drop points. This is our opportunity. I think it's getting to their heads. And Amers Red are the team that are capitalizing now. 300 points already in the standings would put them above Saints 1 as it stands. They're going to get even further if they keep this up.
Yeah, I mean, if you're an Amers fan, red or blue, this is the map to vote for them and root for them on because, I mean, going 4, as Jerry said, I don't think that anybody has gone 3. I want to check because I think there might have been, but if not, it's still an amazing feat. And if they're able to get 4, I am certain nobody has done that so far. But you were going to say something, Jerry?
Yep, I checked. One other team has done 3 wins in a row. Guess who it was? Take a guess. It's very funny.
The Scallywags? I don't know.
Oh, you know what? I wasn't counting NA because I haven't been casting NA, so I haven't been taking notes. But maybe it's happened in NA. In EU, on Playday 3, most recently, so on Wednesday, Amers Blue got 3 wins in a row.
No way.
Yeah. They got 3 wins in a row on Vegas, Banal, and Cis Horizon. And here's where that all started. We are on Vegas. We are watching Amers Red see if they can surpass their rivals, their brothers in arms. And right on the other side of this balcony is Amers Blue right now.
Yeah, well said, Jerry. The brothers are battling each other out, and one of them is on the Megadome. The other is on this hotel area. They are diving and ready to go off per zone, going off the walls with that Shelly in hand, ready to throw it down as Amers Red gets in control of Vault 2. I'm not sure if they're going to take it immediately or if they're going to look for the fight. It does look like they dropped the Vault and are ready to find somebody out. They spot Amers Blue, get one of them down, but not able to get any of the rest of them just yet. There is the Dome Shield. There is the barricade from What the Fa. He throws it down, trying to break the other Dome Shield, chasing each other, but the shotguns deal quite a lot of damage right in each other's faces. We move to Persona as he is looking for the next victim if he can find him. They get Pharos rezzed back up, so they have the whole team on Amers Red as they keep battling it out. This is a wild back and forth. Persona having to reload, but not able to do it. Moving over to Noah X, he's down to 90 HP, and he's diving in and out, and they are going back and forth, and there's finally the wipe on Amers Red from Amers Blue.
Some incredible moments of individual skill throughout all of that. There was one moment just before that melee on the bottom floor which stood out to me. Perzon in the 2 versus 3 left behind a C4 trap, knowing that the other team would chase them. And it worked. It did a hell of a load of damage to the medium on the side of Amers Blue, of Noah X. But yeah, Amers Red just coming out on top. Amers Blue coming out on top. So yeah, big play there. It might have swung the favor. Now, we have a fight between Divine Dead and Resit, looking as though Averex the last alive on Resit, and Divine Dead coming out with the wipe, and they are still in control of B. Of course, they got theirs in very quickly, so now they're having to fend off Aimers Red. A great shot there. Must have been a headshot from Ferios, the bow making its worth known. In comes Aimers Blue to try and disrupt this steal. The DMAC comes out to drop it. Was that DMAC or was that C4? Not quite sure. Either way, it has dropped, it has delayed it. They are sticking on this, but they're going to have to pay with a lot of health, a lot of utility, as Aimers Blue come in and try and do the damage. The steal is successful. Aimers Blue have a cash out already in progress on the other side of the map. They're probably going to be forfeiting it just to try and make some chaos happen over here. Divine Dead getting a load of kills in the mix of things, and we get the quick res coming out. No, in fact, it's going to be a slow res. The steal was successful. They're going to try and claim it back right now.
Yep, the steal is going off. We see the heavy blocking it, but the glitch grenade absolutely drops that mesh shield. It's going to buy them the time that they need. Divine Dead is now scrambling. They get one kill, but they're going to have to go back to the cash out. One of them goes down. Their heavy is just at a couple of bars, but he's getting swarmed as it looks like Aimers Blue is here. They throw down a dome shield, but it gets yoinked out by Aimers Red, and they're unable to hold this off. Aimers Red with a very convincing yoink out of Aimers Blue's hands. And the wipe to boot.
Wow, Ferios, unbelievable play throughout that entire engagement. Goes off with full HP. He threw glitches. He landed headshots. He did everything in that. And a very crucial winch at the very end as well coming out from Person. I was surprised that the dome shield came with it. That almost cost them. Just that strange little interaction. Yeah. But, yep, Aimers Red sitting atop the lobby as they've gotten used to so far today. Resit look like they're going to go relatively uncontested unless Divine Dead can land this last second push. We are going to turn our quick attention to A. Come on, Burrito, get with the program. A is under attack right now by Divine Dead. It looks like the kills are going the way of Resit. Ollie finds one, but the steal isn't on. They can't find it. Divine Dead just don't have the time. Ollie is alone. And it looks as though Resit have managed to claim a crucial first cash out to themselves.
Yeah, this might be Resit's time to turn around, and with their performance so far, they absolutely need to come in first or second if they are able to. Fairzone gets spotted out, and he is going to go down without getting a single bow shot off. What the fuck has that Lewis gun in hand as they get cash out D started. They're going for the setup. They demat the roof, but they decide to not go through it. It looks like there is an Aimers Red very close by. Dome Shield goes down, looking for Atelko through the roof, but unable to find him. They now bounce pad up. They spot Persona out in that fight, and Persona goes down. Barricade up from What the Fuck. He spots out Atelko on top of that roof. He is reloaded. His Lewis gun has enough to get that damage down. Not enough to get the kill, though, but his teammates are chasing and are likely to find Atelko as he's down to the last 2 bars. But it looks like Pharaohs has coined back in, and Atelko is now getting healed back up. It looks like now they need to go back, and Aimers Blue is going back to hold control of this as they know that Aimers Red is going to make one more push.
Yeah, Aimers Red getting away with it there as the Telco was hiding. They do have to wait for that coin, though, on their heavy, so they are biding their time. They're trying to get in position. That is allowing Aimers Blue to get themselves set up. We turn our attention to Resit, who once again have a cash out in float, or rather attacking a cash out now as Divine Dead are the ones defending C. It has just started here. They're still trying to group up and find a good angle of approach here. Some good shots coming out there. Almost enough from Averex. But Temi Tim going in deep here with the RPG. Doesn't know there's a light to his right. That could cause some serious damage. We know the burst damage potential that the lights have in their pocket, but it doesn't feel like it's having any effect right now. Temi Tim going in deep. Finds finally the elbow onto Alone in Paris, but his teammate is being melted by that pinch across between Rose and Ollie. And some good crossfire there established allows them to see through that battle. Divine Dead protect their bounty for the time being.
Yeah, and moving over to Aimers Red, the cash out is down to the last 10 to 15 seconds. Glitch Grenade is going off. Barricade is blocking it, but Aimers Blue is here now as well. They're trying to dream at it down. They're going for the steal. There is the Dome Shield. Both teams are directly on top of each other. This cash out is running down, and Aimers Red looks in full control. They got a wipe in that as well. Aimers Blue seems to be fumbling right now.
Aimers Red are just playing incredibly well as well. You know, we have to give credit to the fights that they are managing to win here. It just seems every time we tune into them, they've already killed 1 or 2 people. And now Averex and Temi Tim taken down, leaving YOLO2D as the last player alive on the side of Reset, chasing the game there, and that is rough, a team wipe. And now Divine Dead have to worry about the whole rest of the lobby, the entire Aimers clan descending upon them, and they have to hold it in a 2 versus 6, it seems like. Alone in Paris finds Ferius, that is the light dealt with, and he finds a great position to take out a Telco as well. Excellent movement from Rose. Alone in Paris still up to help him out, but it looks like the Rose's days are numbered. No, I spoke too soon. He finds yet another incredible play from the light player. Has only a few seconds left to hold this, and I don't think the cash out is coming under contention. He has, just by himself virtually, carried his team up into 2nd place for the time being.
Yeah, Rose is one of the top XP players that I've ever seen in this game. They've got the movement and they've just got everything going for them as a light player. So you light players out there, take some notes. He didn't spot the person right above him. He does now. Can he get up there? It's a little bit of a ways to get up there. He has to kind of either climb over to the left or do like he just did. Listernig went off. There is a DMAT through the wall. They are chasing each other, but diving over this wall as well. Going back onto the roof, Rose has them in his sights. Rose goes down in that fight. Ollie very low, but they are able to get the kill and get the wipe on Aimers Red.
I have to commend Rose there. He really died for the badge. He threw a glitch grenade at a dome that was right in front of him because he knew it would benefit his team. He ran in with his fully reloaded XP with only like 5 HP, knowing that he needed to die for the badge to try and get that kill, and he got it. He got that wipe because he was so committed, didn't care, you know, went in with reckless abandon, knew that the team needed him. Excellent play from Rose. But as it stands, they are sitting in 3rd place, behind Aimers Red and Aimers Blue, who have control of this final cash out. It has been doubled. The plug money goes the way of Divine Dead, putting them now in a potential 2nd place. This is a huge swing in the standings and threatening Aimers Red's potential for 4 wins in a row.
Yep, Aimers Blue now in control of the 36K. Cash out more than halfway done. Gas in hand by What the Fuh. He's bringing it closer. Everybody has to be diving on this point at any second now. But it looks like Aimers Red
are playing for kills.
Yeah, they're going for kills instead. And they're just wiping up Divine Dead if they can. Gas is out on point. Dome Shield's down as well. Looking at the last few seconds of this cash out. What the Fuh trying to bring it over closer to him. He's getting kills with that Lewis gun. Gets another kill on the Lewis gun. Well played. He breaks the gas on the point. That's more than likely going to secure them the cash out as it just ticks down the last couple of seconds, and the gas dealing damage to Divine Dead, but it secures Aimers Blue the win.
Incredible. Excellent play from Aimers Blue, but I've got to give a shout out to Aimers Red in that engagement. They understood the terms. They knew that trying to steal in the final few seconds was going to be almost a lost cause. They turned their attention to Divine Dead, went for those kills, each worth $500, and climbed up the standings there into a 2nd place at the very end, leaving us with a familiar sight before the Playday started. 1st place Aimers Blue, followed closely by Aimers Red, Divine Dead, and then Resit at the bottom. But look at those kills from Rose. Holy, 16 and 5 in the lobby.
That is the most amount of kills we've seen today, and honestly, they were all deserved. They just seem to be on the cleanup crew, and you can see that the Alone in Paris, their heavy, has 11 assists. So that heavy and light were just working together as a good combo of just deleting whoever came in their path. But sadly, it just didn't work out in their favor as they came in 3rd by just $1,500. It's so wild how close these teams ended up getting in basically every fight. But what are your thoughts on all of Group B that we just watched there, Jerry?
Well, Group B has been an absolute roller coaster, and seeing Aimers Red claim first, and then 2nd, I think is the single best performance we've seen from a team in a single play day. We still haven't seen 4 wins in a row from any team yet, and maybe that will happen after the split, but a very, very strong showing from Aimers Red. And it comes on a day where Ferios jumped back onto his beloved bow. I want to see more of it. I think it made a huge difference. People didn't know how to deal with it, but there's a lot of things changing in our league right now, Rio. There's all sorts of things changing. You know, we've seen pyro grenades, we've seen data reshapers, people
Yeah,
deciding that they have, different answers to gas mines, basically. Gas mines have
I
been a
know.
big problem for teams. Every medium seems to be running them, but now we're seeing a bit of this rock, paper, scissors come into play, and it has benefited the teams that have tried to innovate with it. We saw NTHX do substantially better today with the pyro grenade in their sort of gadget arsenal than they have done in recent weeks. We saw the Reshaper come out for, I believe it was Atelco, in fact, was running the Reshaper,
Really?
if I'm not mistaken. Was it Atelco?
I
I
don't
think it was.
remember, but it was still
I
somebody.
like it was someone. I think it was either on it was either Noah X or Telco doing
Mm.
decent job with the Reshaper. It makes a big difference when you sort of learn and adapt to this meta, and even bigger than that, are kind of macro meta, if you want, like teams that are deciding they need to target specific other sides in the standings to make sure that they don't get points. Amos Blue had a really rough go of it today because Amos Red understood that.
Yeah, and I am just kind of blown away by the performances because you're right. We are getting onto a really weird meta level where this league is now going for plays not based off of kind of what it would be like in game, but based off of points and blocking people. And I just think that that's a whole nother meta that I never expected to see in the finals. And I love that we're here because it just means that every day and every play day is just more dynamic than the last, pretty much. So Group B, really good performances, fun maps. The second to last map on Sis Horizon, still probably one of my favorites that we've seen today. If you missed that one, definitely go back and watch the VOD of that. But yeah, I think that it was very much a red versus blue. Red seemed to have a little bit more control than blue, but I think blue still showed us, at least in that last map, that they can fight and that they're here for, just to be on the same level as red anytime that they can.
Yep, Amos Red getting revenge for what Amos Blue did to them earlier in the split, but it's not all done for them. We are only halfway through the league, and we're not even quite there yet either, because we have one more group left to play. Group C will be having the 3Gs come up against each other, as well as the Zesties, and this represents possibly one of the closest groups that we may ever see in this split. So don't go too far. We're going to head to a short break, and when we come back, we'll be ready with all the action from Group C.
Welcome to the Finals Pro League. This is the seasonal battleground where teams fight for dominance, bragging rights, and the ultimate title of regional and world champion. Season 1 kicks off with 2 qualifiers where only the strongest make it through. 3 teams from each qualifier will advance to the regular season. But getting there won't be easy. The format? A modified Swiss bracket. If you lose twice, you're out. Win 4 games and you punch your ticket to the league. Simple, brutal, competitive. In the regular season, the best 12 teams in each region battle it out over 2 intense splits, each lasting 2 weeks. Every split has 4 playdays, where teams are shuffled into fresh groups of 4. And if your squad isn't clicking, no worries. There's a short roster change window between splits. The format? Cash out. Placement and eliminations earn points, stacking up to determine playoff seeding. Only the top 2 teams in each region secure an automatic spot in the championship series, so every match matters. Out of the regular season and into the regular playoffs. The top 8 teams from the regular season start in the upper bracket, while the bottom 4 teams wait in the lower bracket, hungry to fight their way up. The format here is final round 3v3. Lower bracket is best of 1s until the semifinals, where it's best of 3. The upper bracket is best of 3s until the finals, which are a best of 7 showdown. Every playoff match earns teams points towards their season total, affecting their seeding for the grand finale, the championship series. 12 teams, 2 regions, 1 trophy. Welcome to the championship series. With an initial $500 prize pool and growing, this 2-day event will see the top 12 teams from both regions pitted against one another for the title of world champion. The top 2 teams from each region get a free pass to round 2. Every match is best of 3 until the upper bracket finals go to best of 5, and the grand finals, best of 7. Only one team will stand at the top when the dust settles. We'll see you in the arena where we'll find out who can reach the finals.
It's showtime!
can be unfriendly, misleading, confusing. But your world doesn't have to be. Reality Shield will protect you, cutting out the noise, making the world perfect. We do not censor. We cultivate. Engimo.
This isn't just a game. This is TNT. Welcome to the jungle and welcome to Ape Squad's Thursday Night Throwdown.
Featuring the game's top talent, pick up games where chimps become champions.
Thursday nights 8 to 10 p.m. every week, only on Ape Squad. Catch us live on air on Twitch at twitch.tv/apesquadorg.
You know, June, every time I think I've seen it all, the finals proves me wrong. What a play!
That's one for the highlight reel, Scotty.
The next chapter in this epic saga is about to unfold. A storm of epic clashes is brewing this season of the finals!
The stars. Distant. Watching. When will they arrive? Will your family be disintegrated first or last? Will your family dog become their leader? With Holtau's alien invasion insurance, you don't have to worry. Alto, we got your back.
In the world of sports,
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Pro League Playday number 4. We are here in EU. My name is Jerry. I'm here with the delectable Oreo, and I want to say thank you very much, first of all, to Alone in Paris, and who was the other person that raided us just
Elko.
now? It's Elko. Thank you very much. Excellent games from both of you. Really enjoyed casting perspective on things with the top-down view, and we've got 4 incredible teams lined up for you for the final games of this split in EU. Gamblers, Godlike Gamer, Gungala, and the Zesties, who don't begin with G, but, you know,
Yeah.
you can't have everything.
But we have seen the 3Gs before, and in the qualifiers, right? That's when we got the 3Gs in there. And so it's fun to see them still playing, still battling it out. Maybe we'll see a little bit of a repeat of what we saw in those qualifier stages, but who knows? Because this is a really wild group. And throwing it to also as well, the Zesties, you know, they don't fit the Gs, but they are a really good team. And just some of the people on there, Velo, Airshoe, and Stopper is just kind of a really good, well-rounded team. So I'm excited to see them get into this. And do you have any kind of thoughts on this this group, Jerry, before we kind of get into the first map?
Well, on Wednesday, we did get to see both Gungala and Zesties face off against each other in their group, alongside Amos Blue and Crutches. And neither of them were able to win a single map. But we did see some incredible performances from Lasky in particular on Gungala. And in fact, they claimed 3 second-place finishes in a row, which is nice and consistent, kind of like we saw from Crutches earlier today. But second place doesn't win you what do we win? Over $1,000. That's what's up for grabs at the end of all this. Our prize pool has increased. So thank you very much to our sponsor Crash, and also to all of you that have been heading to prohubs.tf and adding to the pot with the donations. I love how many people have got the slap their tummies like a drum animation for the intro. I love that. It's one of my favorite ones.
Yeah, absolutely. And we are getting started. This is map 1, Group C, as we get loaded into Bernal. It has been the first map of all of the groups so far, but on this one, it will be especially exciting. We have the Godlike Gamers, Gungala, and Gamblers and Zesties. You have a favorite team or even a favorite color, follow along as the action gets started here in Bernal. Goo Gun in hand by Aim Point. Interesting play. Don't think we've seen that so far today. RPG RPG now. He is running the Snook skin. Gotta love to see it. It is a very unique one as Godlike Gamers set up and get ready for the next fight, as it looks like the Gamblers are pushing in.
Oh, in they come, and the Gamblers dive on him. They've got that APS. It's going to eat a load of the goo alive, but of course the goo gun, a great way of chewing through that. Unfortunately, Only Bands has been taken down. Aimpoint last alive. We've seen how he can do with this goo gun, but maybe overthinking it just a little bit there. Cartoon is finding a kill, but now in 1 versus 2, and the Vultures are circling. He has escaped as that light invis, which we've seen very occasionally from Cartonis, but he has been taken down there by Kiriki. That is a team wipe. Godlike Gamer with essentially a sub in Only Bands coming in for Ozzy Punto, and Cartonis switching onto the light here so that he can play the medium. It does mean that Godlike Gamer may be a little bit less effective, but we've also seen Only Bands before, and I think he'll mesh just fine.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see kind of how they do play, because yeah, subs make things a little bit different. But I want to take a second and look at chat, because looks like the copy pastas have started. And you know what, guys, I want you to show me your favorite copy pasta you have about these teams. Is it a long one? Is it a short one? Why is it your favorite? Prove that yours is the best and light up chat, because things are getting wild in here. We're watching Aimpoint as he has an RPG in hand, waiting for the perfect opportunity. DMAT through the floor, follows and goes really close to them, throws that RPG down, but takes a little bit of self-damage in that, brings Folan down from the gun. He now has that Shack 50 trying to connect with the last 2 people. Last one alive on the Gamblers, and he's scrambling to stay alive. Can they find him? He might have gotten away just in the nick of time. I'm not sure that they spotted him out. The steal is going to happen now from the Zesties.
From the Zesties.
As we have a third team diving onto this point as well.
Ah, that was Godlike Gamers to take. They did all the hard work. Where have the Zesties come from? Either way, you were right to say the Gamblers did manage to get away there, and they will be coining back in, or at least maybe respawning back in. I don't know whether he had a totem in tow. Aimpoint managing to separate a player very nicely, only he's taken out there, and now unfortunately his team are falling around him. This is the trade-off. When you have that goo gun up, you can't have your weapon either. Eshu claiming another for himself as the res does come through. It does look like it's going to be a 2 versus 3 here. All of the Zesties are up. The Gamblers have come back in, trying to go straight for the steal here, as Aimpoint wants to defend his point, obviously, but I think he's going to be stuck between a rock and a hard place here. DW finally lands that final melee. Velo taking out Kiriki as the Zesties finally get on the board in terms of kills. Folin finds a kill for the Gamblers. Godlike Gamer just, or Gungala just sitting, watching, by the way, on the other side of the map, having fun. We'll turn our attention back to here. Zesties still have control of the point. Only Bands has to run away. And it looks as though the Zesties in purple have done just enough to keep control of A.
Yeah, Zesties did a great job of holding it off. There's just a few seconds left, and they spot out Godlike Gamer as well and get the wipe on them. But there is DW very out of position for his team. I'm not sure if the rest of his team is down, if he's just hiding or what, but surely he's waiting. Here everybody above him, and he does get Folan back up, and I assume they're going to wait for the coin. Bunnies bouncing all around this map. Happy Easter, everybody. It is a joyous time to be watching the finals.
Yeah, we're just waiting for the res there. Gamblers know that the fight is lost, so that Zesties clear themselves out. We get the taps on the second set of vaults. Gungala are very comfortable ahead. They didn't need to get involved in the frags. They are still getting all of the money that comes from just playing the objective. You get those plugs, you get those taps. It matters probably a whole of a lot more in the long run. They're going to move through this gateway as soon as activated. There we go. Lasky ferrying his team along. They move towards D, and at the moment it looks as though they're being uncontested. So I might want us to turn our attention over towards Vault 3, which has a lot more going on.
Yeah, Vault 3 does have a lot going on. It's in that cathedral area, so it's where a lot of people like to gather, and it has a good vantage points as well. But there is a gateway, and puts it in firm control of Godlike Gamer. They just got out of there. They did not want to stick around in that cathedral, but instead they want to move this cache as close as they can to see. He climbs up on to a potted plant. That is not what he intended, I'm sure. Cartones gets caught out, probably due to the timing. In all honesty, he now dies. That is not what you want to see from a mistaken pot climb. I don't even know what to say there.
There's not a word for what we just saw, so I don't blame you for stumbling trying to find one. But it is a 2 versus 2, as we saw Cartonis find one. They get the res as well, and this zip line proves to be Cartone's undoing. They go into this now in the 2 versus 2 for certain. DMAC comes out. He does have the defibs, but he has to go for slow res now. He's already used that defib. It's on cooldown. Aimpoint trying to survive with his trademark goo manipulation, and he's sealed up shop. That should do it for the time being. Only Bands finds Airshoe in the meantime. Only Bands finds Chopper in the meantime. Some great kills come through, and the Zesties now left with only one standing to defend their point. They're going to take their opportunity here, Godlike Gamer, to go for the steal. And the Fortress of Goo is beginning to be built here, Rio.
Yeah, I love it. It's like somebody dropped a big old bucket of oversized popcorn right onto that cash out, and it's going to be perfect for them because it does make it harder to push. You either need to break it or burn it down, and it's really pretty versatile and very tough.
Nice.
Oh my god, look at that Shaq gameplay from Aimpoint, and following it up with the goo as well, trying to stop it. He now goes to reload the RPG. This cash out is halfway done. He spots out one of the heavies from the Zesties, has to dive off of the point to get a little bit more space for himself, but he is being chased, throws down goo and a dome shield. What is this godlike play that I'm seeing from the goo? Just slowing him down, playing with him, and finally dies. But that was quite entertaining, and you know Vela on the receiving end of it is quite confused.
Yeah, he's just delaying the inevitable, though, here. Zesties now have control, and I believe that might have been a coin in from a player on Godlike Gamer to try and contest this, but they're not going to be anywhere near close enough to deny it. On the other side of the map, Gungala looked like they were very successful in wiping the Gamblers a bunch of times and getting that point done. So now they're already ahead of the pace to tap 5. Godlike Gamer finally surging back in. They really only have one more try to get this steal. And Chopa and Airshoe playing beneath. We expect DMAT to come down here. The Gamblers are getting in on the action as well. They want to have some kills to their name, and they're tired of losing to Gungala. They find a few. The burn comes through and kills Cartonas, and that is a miserable end for the Gamblers, who tried so hard, but it didn't really matter in the end. That is a Linkin Park reference, I suppose, a little bit disheveled. Sort of rearranged the lyrics a bit.
Yep, they bet on red and it came up black. I hate to see the Gamblers go down like that, but we immediately move over to Jurgen as he spots some heads, getting some good shots off with that Shaq 50, forcing the Gamblers to retreat a little bit and get the res back off. They're now going to try and run because they do not want to be caught in the crosshairs again from Jurgen as he is watching his team's cash out slowly run down. It's more than a fourth there, as maybe the Godlike Gamers might make a push on this. I'm not quite sure, as they look pretty sure that they are stuck around Vault 6.
I'm very much looking forward to a point where we have, you know, a few more people to sort of run the back end. Massive shout out to Burrito, who's doing everything, all the heavy lifting at the moment. And we have the opportunity to perhaps, you know, get like picture in picture, so we can keep track of two cash outs at once. We already have multiple observers and, like, you know, the landmarks that you can use to pop between different camera angles. So it's absolutely on the cards when we have sort of bigger production and all that sort of stuff. The potential is unreal, and it's only just occurring to me, well, again now, once because we have this wonderful new kill feed that can help keep track of the action even when we're not looking at it. Now, let's turn our attention to Cash Out A, I believe. Cash Out B has some heat on it. In fact, no, let's stay on B. No one's going to A. People should be going to A because it's only got a little bit less time, a little bit of time to go. But I guess they don't want to have anything to do with Gungala, and the Gamblers don't want to have anything to do with living, it would seem, as DW just walks into the gas and gets melted by Cartonis. Aimpoint sitting underneath, ready to do some of his goo magic, but he finds the Zesties coming in hot as well. It's just a three-way melee here to decide who's going to win. So many health bars on our screen, but the main one right now I want to pay attention to is Airshoe, who just seems to be sitting on the point completely uncontested. How can there be that many people around and no one watching the cash out, Rio?
Yeah, and they were able to get the steal uncontested and then yank it out into the middle of the open street. There is a dome shield going down from Godlike Gamers, but it is really fruitless because he just gets wiped, and the Gamblers will take this cash out as they get a few more kills to their name as the map finally winds down. Very interesting play. Gungala at the top with 55k cashed out, and pretty much nobody really wanted to deal with them at the end. So yeah, good kudos to them, I guess.
Yeah, you can only play the game that's in front of you, and I guess they played it perfectly. Look at that. 2 kills, 6 kills, 3 kills. Very, very low frags, but, winning the fights that they had to, and they were ahead of the pace the whole time as well. They won their very first fight very quickly, and it just put them in a position to control the game. We see the Zesties coming second, despite not holding that cash out at the very end. The cash in play was just too little to make a big enough difference for the Gamblers, who got that final steal. And then Godlike Gamers coming up the rear. Despite the best efforts of our favourite resident goo heavy aim point, it does seem as though sometimes it just isn't worth the effort. Why not have a mesh? Why not have a winch? It makes things much harder than it needs to be, even when you're as skilled as he is with the goo gun.
Yeah, and it's just fun to watch as well because
It
he had
is.
so many strategies around it. Like, okay, let me stop this person charging me. Let me goo off somebody that is chasing me. Let me go off the door. Let me make sure that this cash out is protected as well. It's just some level of strategy that we don't see often, and I'm really surprised by it, honestly, because I think that it's just powerful. We saw its control. We saw what he was able to do with it. And if we get a few more people running goo like that, yeah, I think that that's a real force to reckon with.
And Chopper, I have to mention him,
Yeah.
with the most kills in that lobby there. So nicely done, getting the 10, but, it only got them a second place. Of course, basically to be expected that they're the top fragging team out of the teams that actually had to fight each other,
Yeah.
Very strange game that planned out in front of us. Gungala obviously going into today as the number 3 seed, sitting slightly higher above the rest of the pack here. Zesties, Gamblers, Godlike Gamer, in that order, sit 7th, 8th, and 9th before the day started. So it's understandable that they are scrapping against each other and avoiding the team that is, in theory, slightly better. But, I don't think there's that much difference in quality between these teams. So it's an interesting thing to see people pay Gungala that much respect.
Yeah, and I just wonder if it was more just situation based, where they just kind of
Perhaps.
not at a good, yeah, maybe it just made more sense to just not go for them other than kind of a respect thing. I think that we'll find out as we go into these later games, because if it happens again, then obviously you're right. They really don't want to mess with them for whatever reason. And if that is the case, I don't know. I got to send some messages after these matches and see what's going on inside the heads of some of these players. But no more delay. We move to Sis Horizon Sunny variant at 2 p.m. This will be a fun one. I do like Sis Horizon, and I like these teams as well. So stay tuned. This should be fun.
Absolutely. Now, we do have more than one resident heavy specialist in the lobby.
Okay.
I'm talking about Velo right now. We spent a lot of time talking about Aimpoint and his goo gun. Velo is still running a gun for the time being. And to be fair, this is his Horizon. We're unlikely to see a Sledge Heavy, but just know that it could come out from him at any given moment. Of course, right now, he's stuck to the Lewis gun. We see in the kill feed, Gungala already having wiped Godlike Gamer very quickly, it would seem. And yeah, the Zesties are trying to find their opposition. Don't quite know where the Gamblers are right now.
Yeah, no kidding. It's kind of this Scooby-Doo moment as they're trying to find each other, but they keep going in one door and popping out the other as we see it again. I don't even think they've spotted each other just yet. There it is. They finally get on top of each other. Folan getting some good shots off. The Zesties are very low. It seems like they need to regroup and get into a better spot, but they are getting just chased down. It is down to their last heavy, and he gets wiped as well. It does seem like the Zesties are overspiced in that fight.
Very good work from the Gamblers there to stamp their authority on this match so far. They're moving quickly towards the other point, but look at who is waiting for them. Godlike Gamer deciding to leverage their defensive capabilities and go straight for an objective here, guarding A. Now the question is, will the Gamblers read this and decide to maneuver around, or will they go straight into the trap? Looks like they choose the latter, and they take a beating for it. Oh, a great red canister there. Does land. Not massive damage, but enough to put everyone on the side of Gamblers now to low HP at the very least. They have cleaned up the kills. Still hunting for the remaining ones. That plug has been successful from Godlike Gamer. managing to steal the vault mid-transit. That was their ploy from the very beginning, and they forced gamblers to wait for the coins, it seems.
Yeah, it seems that they need to just kind of keep kiting this as long as they can. They are waiting for the coins to get back in it. We move over to Jurgen as he tries to get his teammate back up. Good movement, and it does seem like he will secure it. This is what you want. You want to get Honeypack back in the fight. He has those D-mats. He can kind of help the team move around, go wherever they need to, and there it is. That's exactly what I was talking about. Bunny's jumping by this cash out as it ticks down. Jurgen in good control over it, but everybody is starting to pile on top of this cash out. Maybe 20 seconds left. There is a Cerberus stuck in a stairwell, which is where you do not want to be with a Cerberus. Jurgen turns around, getting some good shots off with the SA. The Bunny's distracting everybody. Good kill on Jurgen as well. Following it up, but he is very low, throwing down a goo wall to buy himself some space. This cash out is stealing, going down. Glitch grenade brings the dome shield down. I'm not sure what happened, but I think it was just stolen out from underneath them. There is another steal going on right now from Gondola. They're unable to get it, and it is in full control of the gamblers. They bet against the house and won.
Zesty's there to play, unfortunately, the losers in that game. And they will get the reses here and try and clean up what's left of the gamblers. And what's left is 6 HP of DW. Oh, no, that's not a fight you're going to win. Wait, why? Okay, I guess he wants to die sooner rather than later. And he's accomplished that goal very well, it seems. We have now the final 20 seconds or so of Godlike Gamer just waiting for anyone to try and take a bite out of them. But look at the goo. Every entryway conceivable has been blocked out, and they are now fairly confident that no one's going to get anywhere near them. Moving on over to Vault 3 as our second wave of Vaults will begin.
Yep, we immediately get into the combat with Cartonis popping his head up and down like a little jack in the box, spotting anybody out, getting some good damage, and continues to find his next target. Gets a good elimination on their light. Glitch grenade in hand, throws it down. I don't think it connected with anybody, but his team is swarming on them. He decides to move a little bit away from his team, going for the vault. They do tap it. That extra 1,000 is helping them to stay on top of the leaderboard if they can. They've decided to kind of not go for the kills, and it seems the Zesties have been able to regroup and get ready for the next fight.
A lot of kills going between Gangala and Gamblers up on our kill feed. We see Lasky getting a few bodies before being taken down by his opposite number in DW. DW finding the res there as the Gamblers obviously coming out on top with the team wipe. The DW playing the hero there as they get to move their point towards where they like to take it. And now we see Airshoe giving chase. He just grabs that box. He knows what he's here for. He's ducking in, ducking out, making sure that he doesn't overstay his welcome.
Yeah, they have the cash. They decided to run with it. It's probably a smart move, honestly. They'll get the plug bonus. They'll get a little bit more cash, get things rolling for their team, but immediately taken out by Gungala. They are here. They are ready to swarm. They do get the cash started, but it's not going in their favor. Now we're watching Honeypack D-Man as he goes down in this fight. There's only one person left on Gungala. It is just Stopper. He's down to just 30 HP, having to dodge and bob and weave and go out the window as far as he can. His health does regen back up. Airshoe, I think, coined back in. He's down to just 2 people. They are going for the steal. It is Godlike Gamers on top of it. I think that they even got it as well. What is going on right now?
Wow, I was surprised that Godlike Gamer were the one to come out with the steal at the end of that, but they clearly played their cards right, and we see now Stopper has managed to regroup, and they decide it's better to head for D and go for a fair 3 versus 3 up against the Gamblers, who they've managed to best perhaps in the past, so a decent call, and of course they're closer rivals, and they are trying to head back. It seems as though they've kind of scuffed this entry as Stopper now very low on HP and his days are numbered. There we go, Foden finding that. It's not a wipe though, as the DMAP player on the Zesties. That is of course Airshoe still lingering. We turn our attention now to see where the kills are flying in both directions. It seems as though Gangala are on top if in terms of numbers, but not in terms of HP. Cartonis appears out of nowhere with the invis decloaking, but is melted by Honeypack Demon. Lasky will finish the job there. A great team wipe coming out from Gangala, and they will get the steal successfully. 2 teams waiting to spawn back in, and both go for last second attempts on either cash out.
Yeah, and as you saw on the scoreboard, last game with 8 kills already. There is still 2.5 minutes in this map, and potentially more if we see another cash out get started. So there is potential for him to be our player of the map that is able to get over 10 kills, and it's looking really good for him doing that right now. Gungala uncontested as we move to cash out D, and that is where... Oh, I take it back! What's happening? Zesties are diving right on it. They get the winch and pull it back out of the position. Gungala absolutely stopped that stall. Bello taking a lot of damage, trying to go around that corner, throws Goo down, but it stops him, and that is a wipe on the Zesties.
Gamblers again with huge plays. Honeypack Demon and Jurgen with 2 kills there at the end. And now we turn our attention to the final wave of cash outs. It's looking pretty even, but the Zesties languishing behind in last place. Hand also being the recipient of that team wipe we just witnessed means that they will need to be playing catch up here. The final minute and 40 seconds. Both the vaults look like they're going to be in play. I do wonder whether we'll get a double or whether it will be split. A seems to be a very favourable position. And in fact, the Gamblers are taking up point on one of those. They're going to play as a blockade. Honeypack Demon grabs 5 and starts running with it. Now, they could try and take this to an objective, or they could run it out and try and guarantee a second place. I don't think there's enough or too little time on the timer for them to really want to do that. So they are carrying it all the way to B. They're going to be met with the Gamblers, though.
Yeah, the Gamblers just want to stop them because if they can, it'll ensure that they get first. But if it gets plugged, it could change all of the rankings right now. There is Lasky as he spots one of them out. Still running that XP.
Gamblers are plugging.
In Viz, the Gamblers are plugging. Interesting play. This is going to be a wild finale for this map. Nothing has been plugged just yet. Both teams are just kind of holding on. Lasky has to go in Viz, going to get his teammate back up, and we're going to get ready for potentially the last fights of this map.
I think they're holding it near because they want to play around what happens to 6. I need to keep an eye on Gamblers at this moment in time. Gungala are trying to fight off over Vault 6. I don't think that's going to matter in the long run. No one is going to be, and you can see they're just holding it. They want to run this timer down and guard it. They are sending in a light player, the Gamblers. They are sending in DW to try and get frags and make sure that that top place is guarded. He's doing his job. He finds Chopper. Fantastic pick, taking out the light player on the Zesties. Looks as though the timer is going to run down. No one is going to get this final plug, and that works perfectly for the Gamblers. The kills are far too spread out for any of these remaining ones to matter. Gungala wanted to try and overtake the Gamblers at the very end there, but couldn't get enough. And there we have it. The first, or the second map rather, of your group C comes to a close.
Yeah, I mean, I want to say that the Gamblers really gave us a good show, but it doesn't even feel like they're gambling. It seems like they are just winning. That was a good team play from them, and Gungala following right behind them. I don't think that we saw any of the kind of like respect or kind of avoiding of teams that we saw in the previous one. I'm thinking back to that last map that we saw. Don't think so. This was much more of a like combat centric map. Lasky going 11 kills, Stopper going 8 as well, and just kind of these teams were just ready for combat, punching left and right.
Yeah, we're very used to seeing both Lasky and Stopper put up the kills for their teams, but I have to highlight Airshoot and Velo on the side of the Zesties really not doing the job that they needed to. The same could be said for Only Bands and Cartoons. They're not really putting in the work when it comes to the kills, and that does mean you suffer when you have to try and play these objectives. You have to get the kills as well to play around them. It's good to see Aimpoint step up a little bit there with some of the goo plays, but again, maybe just focusing a little bit too much on, you know, what they can do around a box. And their first point was great, but you need the second point and you need to be able to sort of carry that momentum forward. So yeah, we all know that in the finals, the second point and then the third point were far more. So yeah, you have to keep that consistency up throughout the game.
Yeah, and you know, that's just kind of what makes it exciting, because if you are leading in the beginning, it does not mean that by the end of the map you will be on top. You have to kind of keep the momentum going and keep it, you know, working. You have to keep your energy high. You have to keep everything just, you know, chugging along if you really want to be on top. So very interesting performances from these teams so far. That is the second map, and we will have 2 more maps for these teams and 2 more maps for the EU side, as we're going to go to Vegas for this group. Do you think that this will be a fun one for Group C?
Well, we have, you know, the Gamblers, and Vegas, and we've talked about it before, but they do perform better on this map every single time. And they're not doing bad today either, so this is definitely, somewhere they want to go. This is exactly where they want to go because they just picked it, having won Sis Horizon. So if there was any doubt in our mind about what their home ground was before, now there is not, right? They have to be Vegas fanboys. If this is where they've picked to go, I don't think they've had the opportunity to pick the map very often in this league because they haven't won a ton. Just sort of checking back through my notes to the last time they won a map. They won Vegas the last time we played it, but that was the last map on Playday 2, so they then didn't get to pick anything. So I don't think we've ever actually seen the Gamblers get to pick a map this season. So I'm excited to see what happens here and whether maybe they can roll with this into another map afterwards.
They can roll the dice and come out on top. We are gonna find out. And you know what, chat? If you're a fan of the Gamblers or even just seeing the Gamblers on Vegas, I want to see it in chat. There's 250 of you in here. I want to see you light it up. We have 2 more matches of today, and Vegas is one to get excited for. We are immediately gonna get in it. There is a vault opened up by the Gamblers. We are watching them as they throw up a gateway. They're ready to move this vault and ready to bring the party.
Here we go. Yep, they've already moved it around and they are being chased by the Gamblers right here. Good shot there comes out from Folin as he takes down one with the RPG, but Aimpoint gets the better of DW at range with the Shack. 2 versus 2 here, and Godlike Gamer are descending upon the Gamblers. Fantastic shots there from Aimpoint. Can he win the fight against his opposite number? It's a heavy versus a heavy here. Folin versus Aimpoint. Folin drops a goo. I mean, do you really want to be fighting the goo god with your own goo? Aimpoint decides to go for the res here. Maybe misunderstanding the terms of engagement there. Folin has gotten a bit more HP, and he uses it to full effect. Finally melting the opposite heavy. We'll head on over to B now, where the Zesties are trying to take down Gungala, but they keep faltering. It seems as though they're staggered in their spawns somewhat. Now they're in a 1 versus 3 here, and I think that is ASU just waiting for the rest of his team to coin in now.
Yeah, and Jurgen now surveying the land, making sure that everything is set up. This cash out is halfway done for his team. He's even got some C4 on top of a gas mine. Interesting play, but it really will work out for them because that could drop it and then put a nice little dome of gas. But I don't even think anybody really wants to deal with them. Gungala seem very empty, very alone as they just party in Vegas. Maybe we should look at... Nope, I take it back. The Zesties are here. They want to bring the fight, and they are there. They drop the cash out. There is another Gath on point, but they gets eaten up by that APS turret. Sad to see it. It's going to help them regain control of this cash out. Honeypack Demon with the F-car in hand. Cash out is still slowly ticking down, but there is a sledge. They have to buy themselves a little bit of space, jumping on that bounce pad, going to the roof, looking at it. There is a steal going off by the Zesties, and they seem somewhat uncontested. They're unable to get it. They have to pull off of it. Dome Shield's going down. Winchclaw as well. There is Jurgen trying to get the cleanup, and he stops it and gets the wipe on the Zesties.
Glassgate pitch it in as well there. A wipe also taking place onto Godlike Gamer. While that was going on, the Gamblers managing to guard their bounty over on Cash Out A. We will head straight over there now, as that is where the next fight is likely to be, with both orange and purple teams spawning in. Gungala freely heading towards Vault 3 for the time being. So, what are the Gamblers doing right now? They're probably just setting up on A, waiting for the players to sort of come at them. Zesties actually look like they're going to come and fight for Vault 3, interestingly. Everyone spawned really far away from A. Okay. I expected there to be another fight on A. I don't think that's going to happen. Zesties and Godlike Gamer spawned on top of each other, and now they're having to fight each other, and I don't know which way that's gone. It seems as though both sets have taken a lot of casualties. Aimpoint does get rezzed, and now Shopper finds his kill on the other side of that, and that is a wipe successful from Godlike Gamer. But they weren't really fighting over anything, so I don't know. They might feel like they've been drawn away from the objective a little bit there.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not really that good of a play. Godlike Gamer
No.
was very sloppy in that fight, in all honesty, and they just kind of didn't come out on top. They've also only got 3,500 to their name, just above the Zesties with $500, roughly 1 kill ahead of them. We're now watching Gungala set up for Cash Out C. I'm not sure if the Zesties want to make the push onto it. They are the top team, so this is probably the play that I wouldn't want to do, but it does seem like the Gamblers are here. They want to get this cash out. The steal is going down, but Gas pulls them off of it. Bounce pad in the hands of Honeypack Demon, getting in the air, trying to find control, spots one of them out, chases them with the DMAT. He is now on top of them, brings Folan down with the help of his team, and that is a wipe on top of everything.
Yeah, he was a little bit late to the party. Not quite the Honeypack Demon, Honeypack DMAT player that we've seen before. You know, Jurgen and Lasky doing more of the heavy lifting there. But it's a team game. He'll have his moments. We'll have a look at Cash Out D, which is being guarded right now by Godlike Gamer. Under pressure from the Zesties, but Stjopa melted. Cartonis is equal to that pressure. Gets taken out himself, though. Airshoe diving on tap, taking out OnlyBans, and now has to save his teammate Velo. In comes the Heavy with the sledge. Finally, it comes out, and will it be enough to carry his team to victory? We'll have to find out. Aimpoint casing himself in goo, and he does manage to guard himself from the damage that Airshoe was trying to dish out. The rest of his team have managed to coin in the meantime to try and defend D, so it may well have been worth it. They kited so far away from the point there, and now here comes, wow, the C4 works beautifully as Aimpoint not only drops the cash but also claims a kill onto Stjopa. They have to fall off on the attack, looking to capitalize his OnlyBans, but he's met with a sledge to the face, as now it's only Cartonis defending the point, and the Zesties can get another go of this with about 30 seconds left on the timer. They're going to RPG it down and try and go for the steal. Nope, it looks as though it's a DMAT instead.
Yeah, they demat it into a good spot. APS turret as well. They are ready. The steal is going down. That Heavy is ready to block. He's holding right click.
Oh, the good
and
didn't
they
work.
are able to get it. They block it with that barricade as well, and they need to just stall for about 10 seconds. It is down to Jurgen as he now goes for the steal. Throws down a dome shield. His teammate is blocking, hoping to stop the steal if he
He's
can.
got it.
They are able to get it. The gas goes off. I can't believe we just saw a steal go back and forth that quickly, right on top of each other. And Gungala are able to take it right out from underneath the Gamblers and the Zesties.
Wow, incredible. I did not expect that to happen right there, but the third parties in EU are brutal at times. Gungala taking down everyone. Velo is not done. He finds Honeypack Demon. He's clearly very angry about that one as well. That was not a pleasurable experience for the Zesties, and he's swinging with all his might. Can't quite finish on Jurgen, and now he's very low. Has to send in his teammates to try and finish the job. Chopper surely gets the call that the Heavy is low, but doesn't go in himself. Lasky as well on 1 HP. And there we go. Chopper finally gets the better of him. Jurgen is far afield, but slowly regaining health as he takes shots. Surely his days are numbered. Everyone's trying to circle him here. So we keep an eye on Velo. I don't think he's the one that's going to get this kill at the end. Oh, Jurgen melting through Lasker with that shotgun. And now the sledgehammer comes in close, but he misses the winch. It's going to buy him time at least to try and stick this res. He's baiting him in. He does find the res. This is such a drawn-out fight over very little. Gungala sitting pretty in first place. And Zesties, why are they doing this? Honestly, they've got, you know, 1 minute and 30 left. They're at the bottom of the leaderboard with no money at all. They need to be reassessing their priorities.
Yeah, this is such a weird fight, and it is really just playing on the timers as they tick down. Vault 6 is being brought potentially to Cash Out B. I think they're going to double this. It is very close, but it's hard to see. Velo now trying to bring the Cash Out down. Puts that barricade up so his teammates can climb up. The Vault seems to now have moved a little bit in the other direction, so I don't think that we'll be seeing a double here. We're now watching as Velo tries to protect his teammates. They need to get a steal if they want to get it. A bonk in the chat because he just got one. He's chasing the second one, but decides to pull off. Now is the time to go for the steal. The teams are here. He throws up the barricade. It does buy him enough space that they need. The steal is going down. He's holding off on Airshoe. That dome shield is buying them a lot of work.
Nice.
They're able to get the steal. Can the Zesties hold control as the cash just slowly times down?
And Stjopper now falling back, knows that he can play time very well as the light. This is a great area to be holding a final cash out when it means so much. They've gone from last place into potential second. Gungala are way out in front. No chance of them losing this first place position. And so that's why we're going to keep our eyes on B. Gamblers come in first, and they are the first to be melted by Stjopper. It looks as though they are also falling gradually. Kiriki does get the res onto DW though, undoing that entry frag, and Airshoe has gone down. Velo is being melted in the process. That Sledge Heavy seemingly ticking down against gas or something. Stjopper absolutely must win this fight, and he can't. DW with a huge kill, but the timer has elapsed. That was just enough for the Zesties to claim second place. Now the question is, can Gamblers or Godlike Gamer head over to A with enough time to claim it back?
Yeah, Gungala in control right now. They have 52,000 to their name, trying to get this last 18 if they can make it happen. Cash out did just drop. This is a great spot. It's now in the Ospuz area, and it is buying themselves a lot of time with that gas. One of them gets spotted out. Jurgen goes down in that fight. Godlike Gamers are trying to go for the steal, but it drops again. This is not what you want to have happen. Gas is on the point. Godlike Gamers are just running out of time. Goo is put down everywhere, but it's not going to mean anything as Gungala gets 70,000 cashed out.
Huge. Wow, absolutely huge. Great performance from Gungala. They were playing for the Zesties at the very end there.
Yeah.
Zesties were feeling very glad that Gungala were up for a fight at the end, because they needed them to be. Zesties had been wiped, and that second place spot was looking very vulnerable for 20 seconds or so. But yeah, Gungala coming out on top yet again. We see fairly even kill spread across the lobby. Lasky and Stjopper once more, though, pushing out on top. Joined this time by Airshoe, very graciously by them. Stjopper hitting 10 deaths is very surprising.
Bit odd, yeah.
Lots of reses coming out from Velu and Airshoe there to pad his death stats, it seemed. But yeah, look at the bottom of the leaderboard. What really stands out for me about Godlike Gamer is that their deaths, right? They clearly just weren't winning enough engagements. 8, 6, and 8 deaths between them is not what you need. You're never going to get that kind of momentum if you're just losing gunfights.
Yeah, I mean, turns out even gods can fall. So who knows? They have one more map to go. In production, can you say that one more time, what this last map will be? Fortune Stadium, my favorite map, which means I need to give my diatribe about it. No, I'm just kidding. I'll spare you and Jerry. But it is a fun map, and I think it is probably one of the best ways I would love to see this EU group wrap up. I think that these have been back and forth. Gungala have shown themselves as a strong force in the first 3 maps, and I'm curious if they can continue it in this last one.
Yeah, Gungala are another one of those teams that will have been eyeing up Saints 1's unimpressive run earlier today and seeing, we're third place. We could start climbing. They've done the best job out of any of those teams vying for the top spot so far today, because Aimers Blue weren't so hot. Aimers Red did do very well themselves. So we'll see how things shake out. But I think by the end of today, we'll have a very different viewpoint and an outlook on the top 4 in particular, particularly if Gungala can ride this home with another top 2 finish.
Yep, and with that, Fortune Stadium is about to get started. This is our last map of this group, Jerry, and before we take a week-long break on the Pro Leagues, lots of belly slaps, and everybody in chat, I hope you are excited. I hope you are pumped. This is going to be a great matchup as everybody gets started on Fortune Stadium for one last time in Group C.
Here we go. We are watching right now Gamblers in Pink sailing or zipping specifically towards the Zesties. DW already wants to get out of that fight as he's taken a bit of a punch and needs to recover. Out comes the dome from the Gamblers, and Kiriki getting in on the action with that Cerberus. We haven't seen much Cerberus action in this lobby so far today, but it's not enough as Velo comes out swinging with the hammer, finds 2 and crushes them to death.
Yeah, we had 2 team wipes back to back almost immediately. I love this because it means that the teams aren't wanting to just wait around. They're not wanting to play this strategically. They're wanting to play with their fists and guns. So this is what I would expect of the last map of today. This is already off to a great start. There is a gateway off for the Zesties. They're going to bring that all the way to Cash Out A. It's a great spot for them to be in as we move over to, it looks like, the Gungala. They have a good vantage point over them, over the Godlike Gamers, and I think that they have spotted them out just a little bit. They're waiting for their opportunity to dive onto the point for them, or really just wait until somebody goes for a steal.
A little bit of recon being done as well by Lasky, just keeping an eye on things. Of course, Godlike Gamer have gone for the slightly more stealthy approach, going in underneath, and of course this suits them a lot. If they can set up goo around the point, winch it in, and guard it, they've done exactly that. The gas is going to cause problems, though they can't go for the immediate steal, and that is enough time for Gungala to scramble to get close in. Going to drop this red barrel here just to bring it on down and cause some more problems. Of course, igniting the goo will make a big difference. Get rid of it very quickly, about 5 seconds or so before it all dissipates. Opens up a nice entryway. Does he know about Lasky on his team? Yeah, of course. Of course he does. He's a teammate. And it looks as though Godlike Gamer have decided they're done waiting. They're going to emerge and come up top. They do duck back down again. The winch misses. The shots come out from Honeypack Demon. Takes out only Bands. And now Gungala's attack looks like it's going to be relatively good as they are trying to protect their cash out. DW taking out Jurgen. Where are the gamblers in all this? Have they shown up to play spoiler, to play third party? It looks like they have Aimpoint last alive on Godlike Gamers team, as they have just not come out very well there. But gamblers are circling, trying to pick up the pieces. It looks as though they can't find them as easily as they'd liked, though. And Cartones finds one from above. Kira keep going down in a heap. DW taken out as well, as Cartones is causing real problems. Out comes the glitch, taking out the active abilities of Folan and co. And the timer, in the meantime, has elapsed in favor of Gungala. No steals possible in all of that chaos.
Yeah, I thought everybody was there and they would definitely find an opportunity to go for a steal, but Gungala again are standing strong and were able to get it even with a team wipe right at the end. So they played that perfectly. They were able to stall everybody and just pick out the right targets. We're watching DW as they're looking at cleanup duty, trying to find the last remaining person on Godlike Gamers, and they spot him out, and that was really a good team chase there. Honestly, they were working together, they were following as a team, and then all of them just swarmed and got that kill. That is a good team wipe from my perspective.
I've got to say, Honeypack Demon MVP so far with his 3 kills. Of course, we saw he got first blood. It was up on the billboards earlier. And he's, claimed the top spot on the cash tally for the time being, although the Zesties have just taken over there with their completely free cash out, uncontested. We're on the second wave of cash outs now, and it looks like Vault 3 is in the hands of the gamblers. They're just moving this over to D. I do love this objective right in the middle of the map. Causes a lot of angles to be possible. We always see more than 2 teams engaging over here. Some good shots there from Lasky, and the trade back important. 2 versus 2. Is there anything going on elsewhere? That's my question.
Yeah, this is not the most exciting, but there is a steal going off. Gas stops it, and does look like Jurgen gets a kill from his gas grenade in that fight. There is a Cerberus right in each other's battle, right in each other's faces, but not enough to bring him down. Lasky now jumping over to a very crumbly building as D is ticking down. They do have control of this cache, and they need to just buy as much time as possible. It looks like the gamblers are here, and they want to make a move. Gas goes off. He's pulling it up with that XP. Folan goes down, bringing the dome shield down with him as well. This went off and it hit several people from Gungala, but they are not worried. They are going for a chase. They hit a bounce pad and it almost brought Lasky down with him. They throw a gateway up so that he can bring his teammates back up, and they are ready to leave that battle. It is very interesting how they're still just staying around this bounce pad, not really wanting to make a single move just yet. This cache is still ticking down, and the Zesties are in control on the other side of Cash Out C.
Yeah, nothing really having changed hands there. Of course, the Zesties getting their plug. But we'll keep our attention on D, because it seems as though all the action is going to be here for the time being. Aimpoint landing some good shots, but not enough. He's taken down by Airshoot at range. Kiriki getting the res over in the distance means that Gamblers are going to be hot on the tails here, looking to third party, maybe going straight for the steal, it seems, as that DMAT brings the point down. We see some kills go the way of the Zesties, fantastic ones there, taking out Godlike Gamer. Honeypack Demon down for the count as well. Oh, Aishu spots a freebie for himself, he gobbles that up. Kiriki in DW finding kills apiece there, and now again the timer elapsing in favor so far of Gungala. It just seems that a wipe in any direction isn't possible. A steal being stuck here by Aimpoint. The gas has dissipated. Looks like he might manage to pull this one off, and he does.
Yeah,
huge steal from Godlike Gamer, putting them back in the chase.
Yeah, they are back in this map for sure, and honestly, it's not looking good on the other side of it. With the Gamblers at just 4K and a team wipe into their name, we are moving into the Zesties as they have control of Cash Out C, but it is slowly running down. There's maybe a fourth left as Gungala is here as well. Gungala is the team to be afraid of and the one that could take it from them. There's a red barrel that blows up the roof. Gas is hitting several people. There is the steal. They demat the cash below. It does make it fall down and drop. There's maybe one more opportunity for this steal to go off. There, it's happening right now. They're able to stop it, and it's really great to see because I think the Zesties have just bought themselves this cash out, and they will buy themselves firmly in first place. But everybody here is still fighting. Godlike Gamers here ready to clean up anybody that they can. Zesties down to just one person. Everybody's being chased down and left and up and down every which way. So we move over to Cartonis as he's just picking off everybody that he can see and goes down with a bonk.
Big Goomba stomp from Velo there. Oh, and a great red canister predicting the movements there of Aimpoint, who gets taken out. He's the only heavy specialist worth talking about right now. Velo doing huge play even after Aimpoint manages to get that really good steal to get Godlike Gamer back in the game. We see Gamblers plug the money over on Cash Out B, and everyone, it seems, is more concerned with Cash or Vault 6, which has spawned right next to it. Looks like, are the Gamblers gonna stay true to their form and double it? I think they might. They have. We have a final battle over here. It's a double. Oh, it's on the bounce pad as well. Oh my god.
If you guys wanted a finale, this is going to be it. We have just under a minute left on this cash out as it bounces like a kid in a jungle gym. He is having a blast there.
Look
It's
at
slowly
how many
going
teams are just waiting.
over to the edge.
There we go.
Finally gets Winch Claw out. Gungala gonna try for the steal. There's the dome shield going down. Good to protect him as well. There is still C4 on it. They drop it down, demat it to the floor. There is now DW trying to find any kill that he can with the XP. They're going through a gateway now, sitting in the stairwell. This is where they want to be. The cash out is halfway done. 36K goes to whoever is able to hold it at the end. It seems like Godlike Gamers are needing to move on to it. The Gamblers are in full control. This is a great opportunity for them to go from last to first. What's going to happen in these last 30 seconds?
Another wipe against the Zesties, and now only two teams left in lobby, and it's Gungala trying to steal against the Gamblers. They went all in on this, and they're losing. Don't they know the house always wins? But no, Gamblers have an ace up their sleeve. They get the wipe in reverse. No, it's not a wipe. There's still a chance for Gungala to come back and defend this, but they can't do it. They are too small, too, I don't know, short on staff right now. Cartone is falling back now. There is an opportunity for a steal in the other direction now. Godlike Gamer having a bite of the cherry, but it is stopped in its tracks there. Cartone is falling back once again. The Gamblers are about 10 seconds away from a huge victory here, and they just need the chaos to last a little bit longer. An attempted steal here from Gungala. Now Zesties piling bodies onto it. The steal might be successful. Godlike Gamer now playing defensively for the Gamblers, and Gamblers are still in this. Gungala have been wiped. Gamblers come out on top with a huge double at the end. Unbelievable ending to our EU Playday, Rio.
I'm speechless. I'm literally speechless. They were struggling the entire map, and then at the end, they were able to get a steal, hold it, get kills, and really buy themselves all the way to the top. That was wild. I am in shock. I am in awe. I hope you people watching at home got some good clips of that, because that was just insanity. And Velo with 12 kills, 12 bonks to the man's name, seems to be in full control of that lobby.
Yeah, and that's saying something, because that was a mad lobby. That was a mad game to end our day with. Wow. Okay, I'm lost for words. all I can do is tell you how the standings are looking. In terms of this group, we just saw the Gamblers win their second map today. They won on Sis Horizon. They only came third on Vegas.
Yeah.
That's very against, everything we tend to say about the Gamblers and their form on that map. But then coming out and winning on Fortune Stadium, their luck changed and they made it work. So huge from them. Godlike Gamer on the other end of the spectrum, 3 last place finishes today and a third on Sis Horizon.
Yeah.
Not great for them. Gungala going pretty much toe to toe with the Gamblers, also 2 first place finishes and a second instead of a third. So that is slightly better from them. They will come out with all the spoils today. Possibly, maybe at the very top of the standings, depending on them versus Aimers Red in terms of points. And then the Zesties, unfortunately, coming up the rear. A lot of second place finishes and some really good performances from Shopper in particular, with lots of fragging across those games. 2 top fragging performances, in fact. But yeah, not the ideal performance. Godlike Gamer at the bottom. It's been wild, absolutely wild. I need to just that's me delaying us talking about that ending, Rio.
Yeah.
Like, do you want to talk a little bit about what happened at the very end there?
Sure. It was just absolute chaos. Starting off with the cash out bouncing in the middle. They have to have winch clawed that out there. It really just made everybody kind of stall for a second because nobody wanted to be the one team that just went in there and was able to get it out, pull it into their position. And then it finally happened. And then that's when we saw just absolute flashpoint and the chaos just get on top of everybody. And and as I'm yapping, we are getting the final points up there. They are completed. But yeah, just one of the truly best finishes I have seen in the finals in all of my time casting these games. I love it. I feel like I have done so many games and it is just always so fresh, so exciting. And I don't know, Jerry, I had a blast today, but let's dig into the numbers in the standings because they are updated.
That they are. So,
Yes.
we will start a giveaway before we take our look at these standings. So, if you are in chat, there is a giveaway for 500 multi-bucks. That's right, free for you. And all you have to do is type a word, a magic word in chat. That word is Pro Hubs. You just got to type the word Pro Hubs. So, type the word Pro Hubs in chat, and we will have a look and see who's active. And then in a short time, I'll allow Rio perhaps to randomly generate the number and we can announce the winner. But let's have a look at these standings, Rio. So, Aimers Red coming out on top. They were 4th before the day started, and now they're in 1st. Absolutely incredible. That top 4 has shuffled hugely. Saints 1 and Aimers Blue dropping, and Gungala and Aimers Red climbing. And then we have the middle of the pack, the same 4 again, but it's shuffled. Crutches, Burnt Nuggets, Zesties, and Gamblers. Crutches climbing quite substantially there. Well, from 6th to 5th at least. And everyone else sort of shuffling a bit there. Gamblers dropping... Gamblers staying exactly the same. Zesty staying the same. And Burnt Nugget swapping with Crutches. And then the last 4, again, the same last 4, but they have shuffled. Divine Dead climbing somewhat and overtaking NTHX. In fact, Godlike Gamer and Divine Dead swapped places. That's what's happened there. 9th now for Divine Dead and 11th for Godlike Gamer. So yeah, things are settling, and we've got this kind of like top 4, middle 4, bottom 4th vibe going on.
Yeah, that's pretty much a good way of putting it because these teams are kind of shuffling within their kind of respective groups almost. So it's interesting to see how it plays out because now, as we've mentioned before, this is the halfway point. These are the points at the 50% of the way. So it is pretty indicative of what we might see in the final totals. But we have seen some teams like Reset just go from being okay to just having a really bad day, or somebody like Aimers Blue go wild off one day and then not hold it off in the second one. So these are all going to be warped, changed up and down. And I really hope that the teams that are kind of struggling on the bottom find the incentive to really kind of come back up to the top. So there's so is just literally leave me excited and speechless.
Aimpoint has some interesting aims for his future playdays. I'll leave it at that. Just check chat. Now, we are going to pick a number in our backstage area. Rio has picked a number. And now we're running the numbers.
I
Yeah,
just typed it in chat.
So it's typed in chat, and we are ready to reveal our winner. So, Rio, can you do your best drum roll, please?
I don't know
Okay.
if my mic is picking that up, but
Oh, it's
I
not.
am drumming on my desk. Sadly, my mic is set up to isolate.
Okay.
Wow.
Wow. Okay. Now everyone's going to say this is rigged. Everybody's going to say this is rigged. Rio, do you want to announce the winner?
It is our winner today, chosen at random, 100%, I swear, is Broxton, the sponsor of today's event and basically Via's PR chief officer. So, congratulations. Thank you for entering. Thank you as well for sponsoring all that you do with Pro Hubs. It's very much appreciated, and we hope you enjoy the $500 coins that Embark has provided. And there is a great little ad for Crash, the Via PR chief operator. So, guys, give him a shout out in chat. Go follow him on Twitch if you haven't already, because there's a lot to come. And, check your brain chips, because I think that there's a new update being pushed by Via.
What can we say? I mean, if you want to get the win in these giveaways, I guess you just have to donate to the prize pool. And we'll rig it for you. That's what's happening.
Production
Absolutely.
is crying in my ear.
I have, as a legal requirement, I have to say that was a joke. Okay,
Yes.
No one is rigging anything. But yeah, that was. We have had giveaways go to actual random viewers in the past. That's just super unlucky, or super lucky if you're Broxton. But yeah, keep on tuning in for the future shows. We do a giveaway every single show. In fact, we'll probably do one later on for the NA broadcast, which is starting in a few hours' time. Rio. We've had a mad day today. We've seen an evolution of the meta. We've seen people changing up the medium gadgets. We've seen people start to target other teams based on the group standings rather than what's happening in lobby. And we've seen a massive shuffle at the very top of the pack. What is your main takeaway from today?
My main takeaway is that I think that pro leagues have done something amazing here. I think that they have found these top tier teams that are willing to fight and change each week as we go on. Like, I've never had the opportunity to have something like this where we just continually see these teams and then see them evolve. Like you mentioned, the meta is evolving. These teams are evolving. And I'm so excited from the first 4 matches that we got, or the first 4 playdays, knowing that we have 4 more playdays coming. So that's my biggest takeaway, that if you love the finals, if you love any of these teams that have been playing so far, we just have so much more coming. And that's really my thoughts on them. We do have a week break coming up, so there will be no finals matches for a week as everybody kind of takes a nice little break and gets readjusted for the second half of the bracket. But yeah, Jerry, those are my thoughts for today. It was fun. It was action-packed. It was a blast. And yeah, I don't really know what else to say other than it's typical finals.
You know what I'm looking forward to? We got this split
What's that?
break. The transfer window has now opened, EU teams, so we can start swapping rosters. If you're feeling like it's not working for you, if you're thinking, there's someone out there that could change our fortunes somewhat, or maybe even push us to the next level, start fishing around, see what happens. I'm very excited to see if there's any changes come this time a couple of weeks from now, but that seems like a good place to leave it, Rio. Plenty of finals to come just in a week's time. So if you're here later in the NA and it's not too past your bedtimes in the EU, we've got the NA Pro Hubs Playday number 4, just like this one, but even more American. And that's coming up soon today, so keep your eye out on that. This is me and Rio signing off for the time being. Stay safe, San Diego. I can't even say San Diego. That works. Do you want to try, Rio? Do you want to
have
try
a good one, everybody? Have a good one. Stay safe, San Diego. We will catch you around. Have a good one.